Chapter 21, The Innate Working Holy Body. And the brave Zhang Yu? Originally, Zhang Yu wanted to ask the trio to help wash the vegetables, but they were so dirty, so he had no choice but to find a homestay and borrow the bathroom for them to wash. Grandma, thank you for lending us the bathroom. Zhang Yu thanked the owner of the B&B. In order to earn money while lying down, he could not save on the necessary expenses for employees. Ha ha ha, young man, you're welcome. I'm bored at home alone. If it weren't for the legendary celebration, there wouldn't be many people on this island. The grandma at the B&B laughed while giving Meow Meow a bath. Meow Meow, it feels so good, meow. In order not to attract other people's attention, Zhang Yu asked Meow Meow not to speak human language. But Musashi and Kojiro didn't have any change of clothes, and Zhang Yu was about to rent clothes for the celebration, but grandma dug out clothes from her and her husband's youth from the closet. As for Meow Meow, it has hair on its body. This is the clothes my husband and I wore when we were young. If you don't mind, you can wear them. Grandma handed the clothes to the two of them and smiled as they thanked her. Wow, Grandma, you're so nice. The trio hadn't felt the love and care from others for a long time since they joined Team Rocket. Half an hour later, the trio had finished changing clothes. Before leaving, Zhang Yu gave his grandmother some local specialties that he bought on other islands as a thank you, and said that he would visit her again when he had time. Hey, you three, why did you join Team Rocket to do bad things? Zhang Yu looked at their pitiful hungry appearance and took out the rice balls he made. After all, how can you work if you are not full? I didn't expect that they would eat the rice balls without any fillings with gusto. Well, haha. After putting the last rice ball in his hand into his mouth, Musashi smiled awkwardly. Well, even though the flower warriors are so nice to us, we also have secrets that we can't tell. Meow Meow licked the rice grains on his paws. Kojiro also nodded. It seems that I have given too much favor. Zhang Yu swung the whip in his hand and said, don't call me flower warrior. Call me boss from now on. Since you don't want to say it, then go work for me. The trio was so frightened that they almost forgot that they were still prisoners. The three of them stood at attention in unison, yes, boss. Back at the stall, under Zhang Yu's arrangement, Musashi picked the vegetables, Meow Meow washed them, and Kojiro made a fire and set up the oven. What's a celebration without barbecue? Zhang Yu planned to set up a barbecue stall in the evening, but he also had Pokémon dumplings, tree fruit dumplings and the like, and the knowledge he had learned as a breeder came in handy. The trio was busy in the front, and he and the stinky flower ink seahorse sat on the chairs in the back to rest. It was really good, someone worked for him without paying. Only 3 dumplings were consumed a day. Soon it was evening, the air became cooler, and tourists came to the streets to buy things. Surprisingly, there were quite a lot of customers at the barbecue stall. Zhang Yu tried the octopus balls made by Kojiro and found that they tasted quite good. Since he had someone to help him with the work, Zhang Yu decided not to cook and instead went to enjoy the celebration. Stinky flower, please stay here and watch them. If they don't obey and try to escape, just tie them up with the rattan whip. Haha. Stinky flower nodded obediently. Then she stared at the trio seriously. The boss is gone. Meow, should we run away? Meow. Looking at Zhang Yu's leaving figure, Meow Meow whispered to Musashi. Stupid Meowth. Don't forget that we've taken poison. And Skank is here too, do you think we can run away? Musashi shook his head helplessly. Kojiro was happily selling barbecue and didn't hear them talking at all. Pa! Hannah! It seemed as if Stinky Flower had awakened some bloodline, and it whipped the 2 people who were slacking off, telling them to work hard and not be lazy. Whoa! Got it, meow! The camera turned to Zhang Yu, who was strolling around, holding the black seahorse and enjoying snacks. Dong dong clang clang. Suddenly, at the end of the street, a group of people wearing local costumes and beating drums and gongs appeared. Is this the etiquette of the celebration? Zhang Yu watched them pass by with interest. At the front of the team is a girl wearing a feather crown. She must be the saint of the celebration. However, when the team came in front of Zhang Yu, they suddenly stopped. The feather-crowned girl came up to him and asked, "Excuse me, are you a Pokémon trainer?" Zhang Yu was a little confused, but still answered that he was a trainer. After hearing the affirmative answer, the girl became a little excited and continued to ask. Sure enough. Are you a native of the Orange Islands? Zhang Yu thought about it, shook his head and said, probably not. I'm traveling right now. Great. We've found the hero. Then as per convention, let's give him a kiss first. The girl looked very happy, and before Zhang Yu could react, she gave him a quick kiss on the face. Hey! What do you mean? Zhang Yu was shocked. Why did he say that for no reason? Ha ha ha, don't be nervous, young man. Our legendary celebration here requires a trainer from outside the area to serve as a hero. But for these past few days, it's basically all locals. Even if there are people from outside the area, they are just tourists, not trainers. An old man in sacrificial robes explained. Zhang Yu suddenly realized and remembered what Li Yulai had told him before, but he didn't expect that he would be chosen to be a hero. Can I choose not to be the chairman? I have something else and can't get away these few days. He actually didn't want to be the chairman, mainly because he was afraid of trouble. He originally came here to rest, but now he is busy again. Hearing Zhang Yu's refusal, the girl felt a little depressed. But the old man immediately said, don't be so hasty to refuse, brave man. In fact, all you need to do is go to the nearby 3 Divine Bird Islands on the day of the celebration and get the treasures that have been placed there in advance. It won't waste any time. And, the brave can eat and drink for free during the legend celebration. The old man leaned close to Zhang Yu's ear and whispered. When he heard it was free, Zhang Yu instantly became excited. Ahem. I think the celebration is more important. I've made up my mind. I will do my duty as the hero says. The girl's eyes sparkled again. She happily put the brave feather crown on Zhang Yu and a small wreath on Mo Haima. Ha! Mo Haima was very satisfied with the girl's understanding. Zhang Yu then joined their parade and walked around the town to get familiar with everyone. That was the end of the night's activities. From now on, they only need to parade once every night until the day of the celebration. The girl also gave Zhang Yu a wooden plaque representing his identity as a brave man. After saying goodbye to the other party, Zhang Yu returned to the stall, and the number of customers gradually decreased. The trio continued to work and nothing went wrong. Thank you for your hard work, Stinky Flower. After patting Stinky Flower's head, Zhang Yu came to the trio. How was the profit today? Kojiro immediately turned around and gave the money earned from selling barbecue to Zhang Yu. Since Chaochu was watching, they didn't dare to keep it for themselves. I took the cash box and counted it, and unexpectedly I made quite a lot of money. There are actually 2,000 Poke coins. It turns out that setting up a stall at a big event is the right thing to do. Well done. But you still need to work harder. Let's stop here for today. Don't waste the remaining ingredients. Use them as your dinner. Zhang Yu has not yet reached the level of a black-hearted capitalist, and did not let the trio close the stall on an empty stomach. Woo woo woo. Thank you, boss. Chapter 22. The celebration begins. Find the treasure. Because there were too many tourists, there were no vacant hotels or B&Bs, so Zhang Yu had to set up a tent in the town square. Many tourists were also setting up tents. Fortunately, the weather was good and there were no mosquitoes. You can stay in the tent next door and continue working tomorrow. After arranging accommodation for Meow Meow and the others, Zhang Yu returned to the tent and fell asleep quickly. It was quite tiring after walking around the town. The trio lay in the tent. It seems like I haven't been this relaxed in a long time, meow. Ever since I joined Team Rocket, I have never been given a valuable position and I always have to sleep in the open. Musashi couldn't help feeling sad when he recalled the past days. Now that I have enough to eat and a job, it seems pretty good. Kojiro fell asleep while talking. Zhang Yu woke up early the next morning because he was not used to sleeping in. He ignored the 3 people who were still sleeping soundly and took out the navigator to check the map of the surrounding area. It turns out that there are 3 small islands next to Asia Island, namely the Ice Island, the Fire Island, and the Thunder Island. It is said that there is a mythical bird living on each island. Arriving at the beach, Zhang Yu could clearly see the islands in the distance, and the cool sea breeze was very comfortable. So far he has not seen any signs of environmental pollution and the sea water is very clean. There weren't many people on the beach in the early morning. Zhang Yu, wearing shorts, was playing in the shallow water with the black seahorse and the Stinky Flower. It's so nice to have a life without having to think about work. Watching the black seahorse pushing itself in the water with a water gun, and the stinky flower floating on the water with its eyes narrowed, absorbing the morning sun. Zhang Yu exclaimed that it was so wonderful to come to the Pokémon world. Looking back on everything that happened during this period, it still seems incredible. Although I also had a headache about making money, after passing that stage, everything is moving in a good direction. Moreover, Zhang Yu also discovered that no matter what their profession was, people here always had smiles on their faces and were very happy. Of course, it is also possible that I am just too lucky, otherwise why would I travel through time instead of falling into the sea and drowning? When the sun came out completely, Zhang Yu had returned to the square. He woke up Meow Meow and the others, and after washing up, he started another day of work supervising the work of the Rockets team. Ordinary days passed one by one, and the town became more and more lively. Zhang Yu also marched with the sacrificial team every evening. After chatting, I learned that the festival saint was named Xiaowu. She was only 14 years old. It was said that the custom of the festival was to give a blessing kiss to the brave trainer. This was also the reason why Zhang Yu was kissed that day. The day of the celebration finally arrived, and starting early in the morning, there were already a lot of people on the streets. Zhang Yu took the Rockets trio aside. In just 1 week, I earned more than 10,000 poke coins without doing anything. After deducting the cost of raw materials, I made a net profit of 10,000. So, Zhang Yu decided to pay the trio some salary, let's say 500 per person. Looking at the money in his hand, Meow Meow rubbed his eyes and said in disbelief, "Boss, is this our salary?" Meow Meow. This is my first time getting paid. What a great feeling! Musashi and Kojiro quickly put the money into their pockets and shouted happily. Zhang Yu silently stuffed the 8,500 poke coins in his pocket into his pocket. 2 clear coughs interrupted their celebration. Although you are Team Rocket, considering your good performance during this period, I have decided to pay you wages. Then, after today's celebration, I will leave here. I hope you won't do bad things again. Kojiro's cooking skills are so good, you can open a restaurant. Why do you have to join Team Rocket? After hearing Zhang Yu's words, the trio fell silent. Forget it. You have your own plans, and I won't force you. Let's separate now. By the way, the pills I gave you last time were fake, so don't worry. After saying that, Zhang Yu ignored them and went back to pack up and prepare to attend the final celebration. In fact, he also had selfish motives in letting Team Rocket go. He was afraid that the butterfly effect would change the direction of the protagonist group. In fact, the trio had already known that the pills were fake. The reason they did not leave was because they could live a comfortable life here every day without having to worry about food and accommodation. The ambitions he had when he first joined Team Rocket were also eroded by repeated failures and escapes. For the first time, the trio felt confused. Where should they go from here? Ah! Master Brave, you are finally here. We have been waiting for you for a long time. Xiao took Zhang Yu's hand and walked quickly to the big tiki hut. The old priest said inside, "Next, please take a boat to Mishima to retrieve the treasure. We will wait for you at the dock." Zhang Yu nodded, followed the sacrificial team to the dock, boarded the boat and prepared to go to Thunder Island first. According to Xiao's hint, the treasure is located in an altar on a canyon overlooking the entire island. When he arrived at the island, the boat was waiting on the shore. He looked up and saw that the island of Thunder was full of mountains. He walked along the path for a while and saw a signpost on the side of the road. Zhang Yu looked at the treasure chest and direction signs drawn on the sign, and soon saw an extremely high canyon, with himself at the bottom. How do we get up there? The canyon is so high. After searching around the canyon, I found a small staircase winding upwards. After climbing for about an hour, we finally reached the top. Hi! As expected, free things are not so easy to come by. If I hadn't been traveling for a while, I would have been exhausted from climbing this mountain. Rubbing his sore thigh, Zhang Yu saw a huge flat ground in front of him. In the center there is an altar and then a small statue. This is Ding Zapdos, the legendary Pokémon. The illustration only gives a very brief introduction. A legendary Pokémon. Zhang Yu walked over and when he got closer he found that there was a small platform under the bird's beak with a yellow bead placed in the depression on it. This should be the treasure. Zhang Yu put the beads into his backpack and returned to the shore. However, after he got on the boat, he always had an inexplicable feeling of being watched. "My lord, we will go to the Ice Island next." Ice Island is the highest island among the 3 islands and is located between the 3 islands. There is an ice-covered forest and bay in the north of the island. Although it is in the tropics, the mountains are often covered with snow. This is because the ice god lives here and keeps the temperature low. The ice orb is located in an altar in a pit on the top of the mountain. Thinking of Xiao's words, Zhang Yu put on his down jacket when he was about to arrive at the ice island. Sure enough, when the boat just docked, a cold wind blew over, instantly making him feel like he was back in winter. "Why, do we have to climb a mountain?" Zhang Yu climbed slowly with a trekking pole. Although there are obvious stairs where the treasure is hidden on Ice Island, the mountain is higher than Thunder Island. It took Zhang Yu 2 hours to climb up. Ding Articuno, the legendary Pokémon. There are some similar statues on the altar on the top of the mountain, except that their names and appearances are slightly different. After taking the blue bead, Zhang Yu returned to the boat, and the feeling of being watched became stronger and stronger. "I always feel like something is going to happen." But looking at the calm sea, Zhang Yu shook his head, hoping that it was just his illusion. "My brave hero, the last island ahead is the Island of Fire. Once you get the treasure, we can return to Asia Island," the sailor explained to Zhang Yu. The latter nodded to show that he understood. Although it is called the Fire Island, the temperature here is still acceptable. After changing back into his daily clothes, Zhang Yu headed non-stop to the location of the last treasure. There is a volcano in the center of the island, with rocks at the bottom and the coastline on the other side of the mountain. The fire orb is hidden in the altar on the crater. Following Xiao's guidance, he quickly arrived at the crater. This time it was not difficult because the stairs were wide and flat, making it easy to walk. It is still the legendary Pokémon statue Moltres. After taking the red bead, Zhang Yu quickly returned to the boat. For some reason, when he took the beads, he suddenly had a bad feeling in his heart and just wanted to return to Asia Island as soon as possible. "Hurry, let's go back, I have a bad feeling," Zhang Yu said to the sailor. Although it was a little strange, the sailor still chose to obey the command of the brave man and sailed quickly towards Asia Island. Just minutes after they arrived at the dock, the sky suddenly became dark, and the pedestrians in the town thought it was going to rain, so they all returned to their houses. "This is..." Xiao and the priest looked at the sky with serious expressions. "This is..." Zhang Yu looked back at the sea. The waves became violent and small waterspouts appeared on the sea. Crash! Heavy rain began to fall. Suddenly, 3 different bird calls came from the sky. Light pillars of different colors shot up into the sky from the 3 islands. Could it be that the legendary Pokémon is about to appear? Zhang Yu murmured. At the same time, Pokémon from all over the world showed varying degrees of abnormal movements and rushed towards the Orange Islands. Those who cannot fly or swim can go to the top of the mountain and look in the direction of the Orange Islands. Major television stations have also reported this strange phenomenon. Inside a laboratory in the Unova region, a man dressed in researcher's clothes looked at Asia Island under the satellite monitoring screen, with a gleam in his eyes. "I knew it! I knew it, they are the real gods!" Chapter 23. 3. The Divine Bird and the Sea God. The celebration is over. The perspective returns to Asia Island. The storm continued, and 3 streams of light appeared in the sky. When the light faded, what appeared was a Pokémon that Zhang Yu had seen before, exactly the same as the statue. 3 divine birds. Zhang Yu's throat felt a little dry. He didn't expect the divine beasts to be so oppressive. In fact, the 3 mythical birds of the Orange Islands are different from the mythical beasts in other regions. They are mythical birds endowed with energy by Arceus, the god of creation, and they control the space cracks in this world. However, Zhang Yu didn't know this. The skank and hippocampus in the Pokeball also ran out because of the appearance of the magical bird. After the 3 divine birds appeared, they did not fight, but communicated for a while, and then quietly waited for something in the sky. The crowds on Asia Island who had come to watch the fun, after the divine bird came out, knelt on the ground and begged for blessings. The Zapdos seemed to have sensed something and glanced at Zhang Yu who was hiding behind the window and watching. He continued to communicate with Moltres and Articuno. About 10 minutes later, a large whirlpool suddenly appeared in the sea, as if something was trying to come out. A white figure rushed from the sea to the sky, and only then did Zhang Yu see clearly that it was a Pokémon he had never seen before. Ding, unknown Pokémon. But Xiao in the town was greatly surprised when he saw this figure, because he was exactly the same as the sea god on the totem pole. Xiao had only heard from her mother that there was a real sea god on Asia Island before, but she had always treated it as a story. She didn't expect that the story would come true today. After the sea god appeared, the 3 divine birds flew to his side, then opened their mouths to the sky, and 3 light waves of different colors mixed together and rushed towards the center of the storm in the sky. Then Poseidon flapped his wings, which were like 2 hands, and flew into the storm clouds. Boom! With a loud bang, the storm was dispersed by a huge energy. The raging winds and heavy rains gradually disappeared, and the world became bright again. As the storm dissipated, Zhang Yu felt that the previous sense of being peeped at also disappeared. He originally thought that it was the peeping of the divine bird, but now it seems that this is not the case. The sea god slowly flew down from the clouds and returned to the center of the 3 sacred birds. The light waves disappeared, and the 3 divine birds turned into streams of light again and returned to their own island. The sea god spread his wings at this time, and circles of ripples emanated from his body. It's the blessing of the sea god. Someone in the crowd said in surprise, and everyone became more pious for a moment. The blessing lasted for about 5 minutes. When it was over, the Pokémon that had been rioting before returned to their original homes. Watching the world return to peace, Zhang Yu walked out of the house holding the black seahorse. He thought that the divine ceremony was finally over. Suddenly a purple light enveloped him, and a strange voice appeared in his mind. A human who accidentally broke into this world, the gears of fate are turning. Zhang Yu looked up suddenly and saw that the sea god was actually looking at him. The voice in my head continued. In that case, these will serve as compensation. Zhang Yu's eyes flashed, and suddenly a piece of glittering scale appeared in his hand. Hi! Mo Haima shook his head and felt as if he had an extra strange memory. What is this? When Zhang Yu looked up again, he found that the sea god had returned to the sea without a trace. The sky was still calm, as if nothing had happened. Although I don't know what this scale is used for, it was given by the sea god after all, so it must be a treasure. I put it together with the seeds that Zheng gave me last time and put them in my bag. Mr. Brave, a clear voice sounded behind him. Xiao was running from a distance, followed by a sacrificial team. I'm so sorry we're late. Brave man, are you not hurt? Zhang Yu shook his head. I'm fine, but I didn't expect that a legendary Pokémon would actually appear during the legendary festival. Xiao also looked surprised. Actually, Lord Poseidon has never appeared in previous legendary festivals. This is the first time I've seen Lord Poseidon. But, it's a good thing after all. So many people have seen the blessing from the sea god. Our Orange Islands will definitely have good weather and good harvests this year. The matter of the sea god came to an end for the time being, but the celebration was not over yet. Zhang Yu and Xiao Yu returned to the big tiki hut, ready to wait for the evening to go to the shrine on the southern cliff of Asia Island to perform the closing ceremony of the celebration. Before that, we must first commend the brave ones. Zhang Yu was not very used to the commendation ceremony-like scene, but fortunately it did not embarrass him. Most of the onlookers were excitedly discussing the matter of the sea god. The commendation ceremony ended after the saint of the celebration put the wreath of the brave on Zhang Yu. After having dinner early, the sacrificial team came to the shrine on the cliff with gongs and drums. Zhang Yu placed 3 precious beads on the altar. Xiao picked up an ocarina-like instrument hanging on the wall and started to play it. As the music started, the crystal pillars around the shrine began to flicker one by one. It's the song of Poseidon. The people in the town also heard the melodious music and stopped to listen quietly. The song ended and the crystal pillars stopped flickering, and the legendary celebration of Asia Island came to a successful conclusion. Oh, it's finally over. I'm so tired. It was already 8 o'clock in the evening when Zhang Yu returned to the town from the shrine, and he attended the final celebration banquet with Xiao and others. It was already 10 o'clock in the evening when we returned to the rest area. On the second day after he became a hero, Xiao and the others arranged a special room for him to live in, and there was no need to set up a tent anymore. Zhang Yu was too tired both mentally and physically today and fell asleep quickly. When Zhang Yu woke up the next day, it was almost noon. I haven't slept so comfortably in a long time after getting up and washing. After a quick breakfast, I prepared to say goodbye to Xiao and the others. The celebration was over and I had to continue my journey. Ah! My brave hero, are you leaving so soon? Xiao was a little surprised. Zhang Yu smiled and said, don't call me a hero anymore. The celebration is over and it's time for me to continue my journey. Xiao wanted to continue speaking but was interrupted by the priest. Xiao, the hero is a trainer after all, and it is normal for him to travel everywhere. Anyway, thank you very much for helping us complete the legend celebration. Please accept this badge. When you come to Asia Island again in the future, you can still enjoy the treatment of a hero. Zhang Yu took the badge, which had a miniature image of Poseidon on it, and solemnly put it into his bag. After saying goodbye to Xiao and the others, he came to the pier alone. Almost 2 months have passed without me noticing. The Kanto Grand Tournament should be about to begin. Then, next stop, Kanto. Chapter 24, Sailing on the Sea. Training with the Ink Sea Horse. Boarding the ship bound for Vermilion City in the Kanto region, Zhang Yu prepared to conduct special training for the 2 Pokémon on the ship. The special training was not something he thought of on a whim, but because this ship was a cruise ship, and it would take about 4 days to sail to Kanto while sightseeing. It would be too boring if he didn't find something to do. It's perfect to be able to enjoy the scenery and relax after training. Hi! The black seahorse lying on Zhang Yu's shoulder shuddered for some reason. Ever since Zhang Yu held the black seahorse, it liked the feeling of being in high places and was unwilling to stay in the Pokeball for a long time. There was no other way, Zhang Yu had to hold the baby on his shoulders since he had to hold things with both hands. Fortunately, it was small and not heavy. A grass-type Pokemon in the Pokeball silently broke. That was clearly my place. There weren't many people on the ship, probably because the ship was too big. There was even a Pokemon battle area on the deck, but Pokemon weighing more than 100 pounds were not allowed to fight and could not use destructive skills. Back to your room, it is fully equipped with all the necessary facilities and free breakfast every day. It's worth the 1,000 yuan ticket. After putting away his luggage, Zhang Yu felt a little bored, so he decided to go to the Pokemon battle area to see if there was anything fun to do. On the battlefield, there was an old man dressed like the Godfather and a girl holding a parasol. The Pokemon of both sides are Frog and Lulili. In a civil war among the water systems, Zhang Yu thought that Lulili was going to lose when he saw that she was so small, but she let the mosquito-repellent frog grab her tail on purpose, and used the reaction force to throw the mosquito-repellent frog around on the deck, almost knocking out the tadpoles. Mosquito frog, I lost. The Godfather took back the mosquito frog with circles around its eyes and belly and admitted defeat to the girl. The latter happily spun around while holding Lulili. I didn't expect there were so many hidden talents on this small ship. Zhang Yu felt a little emotional. It turned out that one cannot judge a Pokemon's ability based on its size. But the following battle was boring, and it returned to the fight between 2 noobs. From the current perspective, the Lulili was probably the strongest. In that case, Ink Sea Horse, let's go too. Zhang Yu came to the battlefield with great momentum. The opponent before him was a kid using Lada, who looked no more than 10 years old, and was crying and looking for his mother. The opponent is a bearded uncle who uses Cat Boss. Mouse versus cat, well, that's hard to judge. Ding Cat Boss, the Siamese cat Pokemon, is the evolved form of Meowth. Because its muscles are very flexible, it can walk without making any sound, and can capture prey in an instant. A rich illustrated encyclopedia is a basic quality for a trainer. Okay. Then our side is, Ink Sea Horse. The black seahorse stood on the field with a dazed look on his face, looking at the cat boss who was more than twice his size and had a ferocious look on his face. He turned around and looked at Zhang Yu in disbelief. Ha! I typed this. Is this true? It's okay. Zhang Yu waved his hand. I believe you. Also, you've gained a lot of weight recently, and it's hurting my shoulders. It's time to lose some weight. In the end, the black seahorse still fought with a wronged look on its face. It had indeed gained a lot of weight, and the fat on its belly had grown into several layers. The bearded uncle looked at the little guy opposite him and laughed, just defeated a little mouse, and here comes a little squid. Don't cry if you lose later. Ha ha. Van hashtag. The attack of the black seahorse is greatly increased due to provocation. Zhang Yu didn't feel anything. He believed in his Pokémon. Villains always died because they talked too much. The rules of the game are 1v1, you cannot change Pokémon during the game, and you are prohibited from using destructive skills to attack the deck. A sailor acted as a temporary referee and announced. Okay, then we'll attack first. Ink Seahorse, move at high speed. Find a chance to use the water gun. Because they were on the sea, the humid air made the deck slippery, and the seahorse was able to move without hindrance. But the cat's claws greatly limited its speed on the slippery ground. Meow. The little thing in front of him ran very fast and was accidentally hit by a water gun. Damn it! Boss Cat, use the harsh sound. The bearded uncle was obviously no fool, and decisively used status-based skills to interfere with the movement of the ink seahorse. The cat slid his claws across the deck, making a sound that made people's teeth ache. The black seahorse was inevitably affected after hearing it. Pursue the victory. Catch them madly. Meow. The big cat leaped up, his claws flashing white light, and pounced hard at the slowing seahorse. If you hit it this time, you can scrape off a layer of fat. At the critical moment, Zhang Yu still calmly commanded. Use the bubbles under yourself and move forward at high speed. Pululu the black seahorse sprayed a string of bubbles on the ground, and then used high-speed movement. Chirp! Because of the presence of foam, the friction of the deck was greatly reduced, and the black seahorse slid directly under the cat boss at high speed. The bearded uncle's eyes widened. No, man, is he really a genius? At this moment, the cat boss was in mid-air and could only watch the black seahorse slide under him. Good opportunity. Water gun. Ha! Just when the black seahorse was about to attack the cat boss's abdomen, he suddenly saw two balls of fur dangling above him. Try to hit it. A shot from the water gun accurately hit the two balls under the cat boss's crotch. Meow. The onlookers felt a chill in their crotch. After landing, the cat's hind legs were trembling and put together, which looked quite funny. You are so despicable. The bearded uncle's eyes went dark. Why was he still attacking the lower three directions? This wave is a victory of physics. Damn it! Use anger. The continuous pain caused by the attack on the eggs greatly increases the power of the cat boss's angry moves. However, facing the ink seahorse that had already used high-speed movement twice, and the limitations of the venue made it impossible for it to touch the opponent's tail. Finally, he fell to the ground under the water gun. After being defeated, the bearded man left in disgrace. Zhang Yu shrugged and said with a bit of regret, what a pity, I still like his rebellious look just now. Ha! Who else? After defeating an opponent who was bigger than him, Mo Haima was filled with confidence. He then defeated several challengers in succession. At present, it can easily handle battles between small Pokémon. As a reward, Zhang Yu also gave it several tree fruit dumplings to eat. No matter how fat it is, no matter how much praise it gets, it is important not to disappoint the child. After 2 days of fighting, it was time to relax a bit. Zhang Yu decided to take the two little ones fishing on the third day to relax, and there happened to be a special deck on the cruise ship as a fishing area. Drink. Sitting next to the fence, Zhang Yu swung the fishing rod in his hand with force, and the float moved with the cruise ship. Fishing on a cruise ship is just for fun, and the moving bait can only fool the stupid magi carp. My luck was pretty good this time, and I caught 2 king carps in less than an hour. There was a staff member who specialized in purchasing Pokémon nearby, and Zhang Yu sold them for 500 each. In fact, because there are too many Magikarp, it can be found almost anywhere in the water, which has affected the living space of other water Pokémon. The Alliance is also troubled by the invasion of this species, so it turns a blind eye to catching it for food. The stinky flower next to it was playing with bubbles spit out by the black seahorse out of boredom. Seeing this, Zhang Yu stuffed the fishing rod in his hand into its hand. Hannah! Stinky flower, why don't you try fishing? It's really fun. It would be great if you could catch a Magikarp. With a puzzled look on his face, Xiao Chu threw the fishing rod into the water, while Zhang Yu sat behind him holding the black seahorse, eating and drinking in the sea breeze. Life is so comfortable. But before he could even sit down, it seemed like Shushua had caught a fish. I quickly ran over to help, and after some twists and turns, what I caught turned out to be an agate jellyfish. Are you so lucky, Skank? He was feeling proud of himself just now, but ended up getting slapped in the face by his own Pokémon. The agate jellyfish that had just come out of the water wanted to resist, but after a super absorption, it instantly became obedient. However, the agate jellyfish is not one of the Pokémon that are rampant, so it cannot be bought, sold, or killed. Zhang Yu is not interested in jellyfish, and finally gave the chance to capture it to a fisherman. After politely declining the fisherman's invitation to dinner, Zhang Yu prepared to go to the banquet hall of the cruise ship to see if there seemed to be some event going on downstairs. Chapter 25. When you arrive at the cabin on the middle level, the first thing that catches your eye is a banner. Today's theme, Pokémon Beauty Pageant. Pokémon Beauty Pageant? Zhang Yu felt it was a little familiar. Was it the same as the beauty pageant? I found an empty seat and sat down, ready to see what was going on. As a cruise ship, the service was very attentive. I picked up the dessert next to me and started eating with the two Pokémon. After a while, a woman in a dress stepped onto the stage in the center of the banquet and announced, "Dear tourists, you should have seen the theme of our party." That's right. It's the Pokémon Beauty Pageant. I've said a lot, but to sum it up, the participating Pokémon can use a gorgeous skill to make themselves look more beautiful, and the three judges in the audience will give scores. The audience can also vote, and the one with the highest score can get a gorgeous ribbon. The first one to appear was a little girl's Butterfree. There were some colorful ribbons stuck on the butterfly's wings, making it look more colorful. "Butterfield, use scale powder," the little girl shouted to Butterfree. "Fui!" The big butterfly on the field turned in a circle, and some sparkling silver powder appeared in the air. Combined with the ribbons on its wings, it really looked quite gorgeous. The three judges in the audience gave scores of 8/8/9 respectively. Great! When the little girl saw this, she happily jumped into her mother's arms behind her. Although Zhang Yu didn't quite understand the mystery, he still found it quite novel. Smelly Flower and Seahorse were watching it so seriously that they even forgot to eat their snacks. The next one to come on stage is an uncle's Magikarp. He kept flapping his arms and legs after he came on stage. After watching for 2 minutes, he probably got tired and just lay there motionless. The judges unanimously gave him a high score of 2. What? You don't understand the charm of splashing water at all. The uncle walked away cursing. The Pokémon performed one after another. Some were dressed up in fancy clothes, while others were plain. Zhang Yu even saw a Pokémon wearing a skirt. It almost blinded him. I wiped the cold sweat from my forehead. It was such an exciting beauty pageant. After all Pokémon have finished scoring, they enter the elimination round. 3 Pokémon come on stage together, and the audience also joins in scoring. They can use skills to interfere with the performances of other Pokémon, but they can only use them once and their power is limited. Unexpectedly, the woman-dressing monster also made it to the elimination round. It's hard not to doubt the judges' XP. The first scene is Marilou wearing a bow, Squirtle wearing a grass skirt, and Pikachu with a heart-shaped tail. It is a relatively normal cute group. Zhang Yu was very interested in the grass skirt turtle, which was round and plump, and he really wanted to touch its head. First, Marilou's tail wagging performance, but she seemed a little too excited, wagging her tail as fast as an electric fan, which made her look less cute. Squirtle performed a hula dance on the spot, which made everyone happy, but because he did not use any skills, he committed a foul and was given a yellow card warning. The last Pikachu uses high-speed star towards the sky above itself. The yellow silhouette combined with the falling stars makes it the best-looking Pokémon. During the scoring stage, Zhang Yu was so interested in watching the Stinky Flower that he handed the scoring device to it to score. Pikachu won as expected. Zhang Yu left the rest of the competition to the 2 little ones to score. He opened the navigator to check the map of the Kanto area. I heard that the Kanto region has abundant facilities and activities, and the trainers are very strong, so I can't help but look forward to it. Hannah. Zhang Yu felt his sleeve being pulled, and saw Shuhua pointing at the stage and asking him to look. What's wrong, Stinky Flower? Huh? It's a beautiful flower. The competition has ended, and the final winner is a beautiful flower, which is being crowned with a gorgeous ribbon by the award presenter. Stinky Flower looked at the beautiful flowers on the stage with envy in her eyes. Listening to the audience's cheers and seeing the state of Stinky Flower, Zhang Yu seemed to have made up his mind. After watching Lilie's game, I'll go to Daigan Island. On the last day of sailing, at noon, the port of Vermilion City could already be vaguely seen. Hannah. Stinky Flower used a whip to grab the black seahorse in the sea and lifted it up with a strong force. This morning, Zhang Yu came to the bottom of the cruise ship and let the black seahorse follow the cruise ship in the sea and have fun. Since he tamed it, it rarely swam freely in the sea. Fortunately, the cruise ship was not going very fast, and the black seahorse was able to keep up with the boat after playing around. Attention, tourists! We are about to arrive at Dead Leaf Port. Please take your luggage with you. After hearing the broadcast, Zhang Yu packed up his things and went to the deck with the two kids. Wow, what a big port! Looking into the distance, you can already see the exterior of Dead Leaf Harbor, with countless cruise ships docked inside. There is a huge electronic screen on the pier, which reads, "Dead leaves are the orange and yellow color of sunset." Zhang Yu and the two kids all looked excited. We're finally here. Kanto. Chapter 26, Meet Lily again and the Pokémon Fans Club. The permanent population of Kuya City is about 30, but there are countless ships coming and going every day, and the floating population has reached an astonishing 50. After Zhang Yu got off the boat, he was pushed out of the dock by the huge crowd. Along the way, he saw that the streets were full of people and various Pokémon, and the whole city was bustling. Let me see the main buildings in Dead Leaf City. Zhang Yu was looking down at the map when a flyer was suddenly stuffed into his hand. He looked up and saw a tightly wrapped man walking towards him quickly. Hey! Zhang Yu picked up the flyer and saw that it said, "Pokémon Quest is released for the first time. If you are interested, come to Building 16 on Dead Leaf Street." Oh my god! They're doing this in broad daylight. Zhang Yu was shocked and quickly threw the flyer into the trash can. Pokémon friends, this is not fun to watch. This should be Building 16. Zhang Yu breathed a sigh of relief when he saw the Pokémon Fans Club sign hanging at the door. As a righteous person, he originally wanted to crack down on bad habits, sure, but he didn't expect it was just a Pokémon club. Crunch! I was about to push the door, but it suddenly opened from the inside. What? You actually said that my Maimei and Huahua are ugly after they evolve. What a crappy aesthetic! A familiar voice came out. Lilia walked out of the room angrily and complained over her shoulder. Ouch! Because he didn't look ahead, he accidentally bumped into Zhang Yu. Hey! Ew! She exclaimed with some surprise. Why are you in Vermilion City? Zhang Yu was also a little surprised. Long time no see, Lilia. My trip to the Orange Islands is temporarily over. I came to Kanto specifically to watch your game. By the way, what's wrong? You look so angry. Speaking of this, Lilie started to get angry again, frowning. I heard that there is a Pokémon Enthusiasts Club in Vermilion City, a club that specializes in the Pokémon contest, so I came here to take a look. I didn't expect that they would dislike that my Polyflower is the final evolution. What a tasteless person. Lilie took Zhang Yu's hand and went back into the club, wanting him to judge the matter. Entering the house, the space is quite large, with some trainers and Pokémon gathered in groups of 3 or 4. Before Zhang Yu could take a closer look, Lilie took him straight upstairs. Hey! Uncle! Since you look down on my Maimei and Huahua, let's have a competition. Lilie slammed the table and challenged the uncle next to her unconvinced. This is... Zhang Yu always felt a little familiar. Isn't this the uncle on the boat who was competing with Magikarp? Zhang Yu instantly understood why he looked down on Mai Luo. It was obvious that the XP was different. The uncle was also frightened by the little girl in front of him, but he refused Lilie's declaration of war. My Magikarp will never compete with a rude bell. You. Lilie wanted to say something, but Zhang Yu pulled her aside and told her about what happened to the uncle on the boat and how his aesthetic taste was different from that of ordinary people. Only then did she calm down. That's what I said. How could anyone think that a salted fish flopping on the ground is prettier than a beautiful flower dancing? Lilie, whose mood had improved again, suddenly reacted and remembered that she had just held Zhang Yu's hand. Her face turned slightly red. Lilie, your face is so red, are you still angry? Zhang Yu asked curiously. No. People will laugh when they are speechless. Lilia laughed awkwardly and said. Well, let's go visit the club. After some understanding, Zhang Yu finally understood why the Pokémon Fans Club was secretly distributing flyers. This club was originally a place for people who like Pokémon to communicate and show each other's collections. Generally, members here prefer unevolved, cute Pokémon, and do not like battles but like gorgeous competitions. Because of this preference, people don't really agree with their XP, so they can only find like-minded people through the method of distributing flyers. Anyway, it's a bit exaggerated. Zhang Yu didn't understand but respected him. By the way, Au. Have you been to Daigon Island? Did Scolopendra evolve? Lilia asked expectantly. Well, I'm going to go after you finish the game. Zhang Yu said as he took out the Pokeball and released Skank and Hippocampus. Lily greeted Smelly Flower first, then turned her gaze to Seahorse, with hearts appearing in her eyes. Wow! So cute! Come and let your sister hug you. After saying that, Lilia opened her arms and wanted to hug the black seahorse. However, the black seahorse did not seem to appreciate it. It stared at Lilia with its big eyes and looked at her warily. Hi! Looking at the strange woman in front of him, Mohima spat out a mouthful of ink without hesitation. Sorry, this child is not used to strangers. Looking at Lilia who had just washed her face, Zhang Yu explained awkwardly. It's okay. Lily was not angry at all. Instead, she smiled and comforted Zhang Yu. Mohima, Au, how did you capture this Pokémon? This is a very rare Pokémon, and its final evolution, the Thorn Dragon, is both handsome and powerful. Looking at Lilia who was full of envy, Zhang Yu said that he just caught it when he was fishing out of boredom. Ah ha ha ha, Au, you are really lucky. After some introductions, Mohima finally let down his guard towards Lily and allowed her to hug him. But, your Pokémon really likes you. There are many trainers who have average relationships with their Pokémon, and sometimes they don't even listen to your commands. Zhang Yu looked at his Pokémon tenderly and smiled slightly. It's okay, I treat them as my own children. Because neither Scalarius nor Vileflower have their final evolutions, some trainers wanted to take photos with them when they visited the club, and after obtaining the two little ones' consent, a lot of photos were taken. After coming out of the club, Zhang Yu suddenly didn't know what to do. The glamour contest was still a few weeks away from starting, so why not ask Lilia what she thought. Korea. Au, it's noon now, let's go eat. The Pikachu sushi restaurant here is delicious. Zhang Yu had just said one word when Lilia suddenly spoke excitedly. Zhang Yu, who was worried about what to do, was also happy to have something to do. So he went to the restaurant with Lilia to try the food. Chapter 27. A leisurely day. Chatting. The Pikachu sushi restaurant is located next to the Pokémon Center. It seems to have a good reputation and there are quite a lot of people queuing up. Wow, it's time for dinner, there are so many people. Lilia felt a little regretful. She has been in Vermilion City for several days, and this is the only restaurant that has good food. If you queue up you have to wait a long time. My stomach is growling. Au, do you want to eat anything? Upon hearing this, Zhang Yu said that he was fine with eating anything. Usually I only eat meals prepared by professional chefs, there's really nothing delicious here. Lilia muttered softly, she didn't know what to do. Seeing that Lilia was a little embarrassed, Zhang Yu had an idea. Hey, I have an idea. Since you don't know what to eat, let me cook. Hey! Au, can you cook? That's amazing. I know nothing about cooking. Usually, it's cooked by professional chefs. This time I finally found a restaurant with better food. Lilia was very surprised. She just knew that Zhang Yu could cook. Special chef. I felt offended. As a child from a poor family, it was hard to imagine hiring a chef. The two came to Lilia's house and prepared to cook for themselves. But, Lily, you also have property in Vermilion City. Is there anything strange about that? I have a house in every city in Kanto. How else would I live? Lilia was a little surprised by Zhang Yu's question. I really want to punch this unfair world to pieces. Looking at the 120 square meter apartment in front of me, in Kuya City, a highly international city, every inch of land is worth a lot of money. It's hard, the fist is hard. The kitchen is very large, brand new, and fully equipped with all kinds of kitchen utensils. But you still have to buy food. Lilia paid for all the groceries, saying how could she let him cook and pay for them at the same time. It's a big city after all. It has everything. This time, I'll let you have a good taste of my cooking skills. After buying a lot of ingredients, Zhang Yu was ready to get started. Seeing Lilia making the dishwashing water all over the floor, Zhang Yu politely asked her to leave. Only his stinky flower and Lilia's two beautiful flowers were left in the kitchen to help. Mo Haima went out to play with the eldest lady. After a while, bursts of tempting aroma came from the kitchen. This taste. This is a dish I've never eaten before. Looking at Lily's greedy look, the black seahorse showed a look of contempt. Ha! Have you never eaten anything good? Suddenly the kitchen door opened. It's time to eat. Great! As the dishes were served one by one, Lily and several Pokémon could hardly wait. Wait until the last dish is served. They were already seated in a row at the table. After the hard-working chef sat down. I'm starting. Wow! So delicious! Even better than what my chef makes. Getting compliments from diners is the happiest thing for a chef. Seeing how much they enjoy the food, Zhang Yu also feels very satisfied. Burp, I feel so full. Lily burped generously. She was so full that she didn't want to walk anymore. Hannah. Several Pokémon ate specially prepared food and also lay on chairs to digest their food. By the way, Au, you cook delicious food and you're good at fighting. There must be a lot of girls who like you. Lilia asked this question out of nowhere. No, your attack power seems a bit high today. Zhang Yu's mother has been single for more than 20 years and has never been in a relationship except for poverty. Besides, he has a clear understanding of himself. He is 173 centimeters tall, of average build and looks. He doesn't know how to talk, and is a pure ordinary man. On Earth, he was almost falsely accused of secretly taking photos, because it was clearly his phone that accidentally fell to the ground. He explained for a long time before the other party reluctantly believed him. However, the next day, when he was surfing the internet, he found that he had been hung up for a long time. I didn't enjoy any of the benefits of being a man, but I suffered all the hardships. I don't understand those people who say that being a man is good every day, but who can make up for what I lack. I'm so ordinary, how could any girl like me? Zhang Yu smiled. He had let it go a long time ago. It was good for him to live alone. As long as he didn't get falsely accused of secretly taking photos again, it would be fine. Huh? How could that be? I think you have a lot of good qualities. You're gentle to others, you keep your promises, and you cook deliciously. Lily couldn't believe it. Thank you for your affirmation, but I really didn't lie to you. I'm not tall, handsome, or rich. Zhang Yu once heard a saying that warm-hearted men come after sweet-tempered men. In his era, boys who had just graduated were basically poor, while girls were basically in their prime. Don't bring in the rich second generation, I'm talking about ordinary people. Coupled with all kinds of praise and criticism on the internet, the main phenomenon leading to inferiority complex among boys is the result. Au, you are too realistic. Isn't it enough for two people to like each other? Also, height and other things are useless. Ability is the most important. Can you become the league champion just by being tall? Lilia obviously couldn't understand Zhang Yu's thoughts. Although she is a young lady, she also travels everywhere and has met many ordinary couples who have harmonious relationships and are working hard to make their lives better. As for those who dislike others for this or that, we are all children of our parents. If you dislike me, you can leave, but if you want to mock me, then let's have a Pokémon duel in which you can attack trainers. That's right, this is no longer Earth. It's normal to have different perspectives. Zhang Yu thought to himself that his thinking was rigid. Because in the Pokémon world, Pokémon is the mainstream. No matter whether you are a man or a woman, as long as you have the ability, you will be respected and loved. I see, indeed, the two worlds are very different. Zhang Yu sincerely thanked Lilia for her affirmation and said that he would consider her words carefully. After chatting for a long time, I felt less full, so I cleaned up the battlefield and went out to have a look. This is an international metropolis, so I must take a good look at it. Zhang Yu held the stinky flower in one hand and held the black seahorse in the other. Lily was holding Mai Mei and Huahua's hands. The 2 people and 4 Pokémon were strolling slowly on the street. Unlike in the Orange Islands, the Pokémon in Vermilion City are very involved in life. The docks have the strange power to load and unload goods, there are tousled gull couriers flying in the sky, and there are people riding Pokémon like Thunder Zebra on the streets. Zhang Yu has gained a lot of knowledge. The 2 walked and stopped in front of a building. Looking at the hexagonal emblem in front of the door, Lily asked, "Ayu, do you want to challenge the Withered Leaf Gym?" Zhang Yu shook his head. Unlike the gym he had seen in the Orange Islands before, the Dead Leaf Gym obviously looked much more formal. There were trainers registering for challenges at the door, and there were specific records on the map. "Lily, what are the requirements to become a Pokémon Master?" Ayu, do you want to become a Pokémon Master? Well, although I don't know much about other things, there is one necessary condition, which is to become the champion of a regional tournament. Lily replied. It seems to be the same as what everyone on the boat said at that time. So, the first goal should be to become the champion of the conference. Chapter 28, The 3 Gatekeepers and the Brave Wildflower. The first step to becoming a tournament champion is to get 8 gym badges. The trainer's manual clearly explains how to participate in the Pokémon competition and win the championship. I opened the navigator and found a very detailed description of the gym challenges. After looking at the gym ratings in Kanto, I found that the most suitable one for novices to challenge is the Deep Grey Gym in Deep Grey City. The city of Kuyu where Zhang Yu is currently located is rated as medium difficulty. Although Zhang Yu had fought many times, he had never participated in a serious gym competition, so he was not sure how strong he was. It just so happens that I'm in Vermilion City right now, so I might as well challenge the Vermilion Gym to see if I'm strong enough. After sharing the idea with Lilie, she also agreed with Zhang Yu's idea. However, you still need to be adequately prepared. After strolling outside until the evening, the 2 went to the Kuyu supermarket to buy some snacks to entertain themselves. Originally Zhang Yu wanted to pay the bill, but Lilie refused to agree, so they had to split the bill. Sitting on the sofa, Zhang Yu felt a little distressed. The leader of the Witherleaf Gym, Ma Zishi, used all electric-type Pokémon, and apart from Skank that could resist a little, Smelly Bender couldn't do anything to him at all. Ayu, maybe, you should capture a Pokémon that can resist electric. If you want to collect all 8 badges, you need to have Pokémon with more attributes so that you can deal with different gyms. Lilie gave some sound advice. Zhang Yu nodded thoughtfully, but in his heart he would rather have nothing than have something less than what he wants. With his current abilities, he couldn't handle too many Pokémon. As for catching it, I'm not in a hurry. I just want to test my strength. I'll go to the gym tomorrow to check the situation. The next day, Lilia continued to train for the gorgeous competition, so Zhang Yu went to the Dead Leaf Gym alone. Hello, because there are too many people challenging the Vermilion Leaf Gym, currently you can only challenge the gym leader after you have challenged the 3 gatekeeper trainers, the receptionist at the entrance of the Vermilion Leaf Gym said apologetically. Is it a level-breaking type? Now that you are here, there is no harm in giving it a try. However, the difficulty is still not small. The challenger needs to defeat 1 Pokémon of 3 goalkeepers in a row. After winning, he can only restore the abnormal state of the Pokémon, but not the physical strength, except for special moves with recovery ability. Only after winning all the games can you recover your strength and get the qualification to challenge the gym owner. The number of Pokémon that can be used is limited to 3, and they can be replaced midway. This arrangement is to prevent the goalkeeper from being challenged by 6 Pokémon in a round-robin battle, and to select the most capable trainers. When we arrived at the battle platform, 3 people had already been waiting for a long time. The first goalkeeping trainer was a man in a sailor suit. Sailor Tatsuhiko, here you go. As soon as he finished speaking, a little magnemite was released. It's decided to be you, Stinky Flower. Zhang Yu also released his Pokémon. I haven't fought against an electric-type Pokémon yet, but I know how to control it. Grass-type Pokémon are resistant to electricity, so I have the advantage. So what if he's a grass-type? My Magneto is invincible, and he can use electromagnetic waves. Instead of attacking rashly, Diane decided to debuff the opponent first. Wildflower wanted to dodge, but the speed of the electromagnetic wave was too fast and she was hit instantly, with arcs of electricity appearing on her body. Good opportunity! Ultrasound! Diane shouted excitedly. Why are the buffs still coming in non-stop? Vile Bloom, use your leaf blade to take it down for me. Before Zhang Yu finished speaking, Vile Bloom understood what he meant, and its energy leaves flew towards Magnemite. Get out of the way! Helplessly, Diane was forced to stop releasing the ultrasound. Want to dodge? Release the flying leaf quick knife continuously. As a classic move, Vile Flower has become very familiar with this move, and the leaves can be shot faster than the seed machine gun. Once or twice is fine, but the large-scale skills make it impossible for Magneto to avoid. He has been hit by several leaves. Magnemite, hold on. Use electric shock. Diane tried to use the trainer skills. Perhaps it was out of good luck, as Magnemite actually reacted and used an electric shock, which in turn triggered the paralysis effect that had been unresponsive, causing Smelly Flower to fall into a brief stagnation. Take advantage of now. Sonic Boom! Magnemite, who was able to take a breath, heard Tatsuya's order. The two U-shaped magnets beside him came together, and an invisible attack distorted the air and hit Skank. Get out of the way! Haha! Stinky Flower scratched his belly. This little Magneto seemed to be too low level. Sonic Boom was just like tickling to it. Sonic Boom is just a scary name, the actual damage is very low. Zhang Yu was worried at first, but he felt relieved after seeing the reaction of Stinky Flower. Stinky Flower, use sleeping powder to spread it all over the space. Zhang Yu used an old skill. Status-based moves are still very useful. Yellow powder filled the air around it. Although it was unknown how it could breathe air without a nose, Magnemite was still affected by the sleeping powder and became sluggish. Damn it! Cheer up! No matter how Diane shouted, Magnemite still staggered to the ground. Super absorption. Zhang Yu adhered to the principle of hitting the downed dog and replenished his physical strength vigorously. By the time the referee announced that Smelly Flower had won, its strength had almost recovered. The second goalkeeper was a bit non-mainstream. He was dressed the same as the spirited young man and didn't say a word. He just smiled evilly with his mouth crooked. He threw the Pokeball in his hand, and a Pokeball came out of it. Zhang Yu looked at the other party's Pokémon that looked very similar to the Pokeball, and silently took out the Pokédex. Ding! Thunderbolt Ball is a creature of unknown origin. It can use special moves with electric attributes. Sometimes it will suddenly explode, and has a self-destructive personality. The corners of his mouth twitched as he looked at the opposing trainer and Pokémon with the same crooked and evil smile, and felt that the atmosphere of the second battle was a bit weird. Stinky Flower, be careful! Poison powder! Zhang Yu had a bad feeling in his heart and decided to spread the powder in the air around him first. Snap! The energetic young man suddenly snapped his fingers. The Thunderbolt Ball, which had been standing still, suddenly laughed strangely and quickly jumped towards the Stinky Flower, not caring even if it was hit by the poison powder. There's a problem! Stinky Flower, get out of there! Zhang Yu shouted in shock. Everything will be crushed to pieces. Just after Stinky Flower dodged the impact of the Thunderbolt Ball, the red and white ball next to it suddenly emitted a bright light. Hana! Sigma, degree! Boom! After a loud bang. Thunderbolt Ball had lost consciousness, and Stinky Flower was also blown away. Although his strength was not drained, he was still standing unsteadily. I was tricked. Thinking of Yangji's Onyx last time, he made the same mistake this time. Sorry, Stinky Flower, it's all my fault. You should come back first. After taking back the Vile Flower, it was the third goalkeeper's turn. The other party took off his hat, bowed like a gentleman and said, My name is Olsen. Your Stinky Flower is quite powerful, but if you want to challenge the gym owner, you still have to get past me. After that, he sent out the last Pokémon for this challenge, Pikachu. Even though he knew that the water type was restrained, Zhang Yu had no other Pokémon to play and could only send out Ink Seahorse. Mohama, be alert and don't lose points. Although we are restrained by the attribute, we must play with momentum. Zhang Yu used pre-war chicken soup. Hearing this, Mohama straightened his body, indicating that he was ready to go. Good smokescreen. He was already at a disadvantage, so he had to change his tactics. In fact, he could have used the stench of the Stinky Flower, but Zhang Yu didn't bring a gas mask, and if he used it, he would lose consciousness. Ha! Bursts of black smoke spewed out of Inkseehorse's mouth, and soon the positions of the two Pokémon could no longer be seen on the field. Pick up! Pikachu panicked a little, but Olsen's voice soon calmed it down. Don't be afraid of Pikachu, the other party can't see you either. Cover the field with an electric net. Feel the other party's position. Pick up! A hissing sound was heard, and some tiny arcs flashed in the smoke. Hannah! But the voice that came was not that of the Black Seahorse. No, there's a problem. Olsen realized that the situation was not that simple, so he asked Pikachu to be alert to the surroundings. When the smoke cleared, what appeared on the field was actually stinky poo. It turned out that when the smoke blocked Olsen's sight, Zhang Yu replaced the Black Seahorse with Vilecroft and used rooting in the smoke. During this short period of time, he had recovered a lot of physical strength. In that case, Pikachu, use Thunder. Seeing that Vileflower's body couldn't move quickly because of being rooted, Olsen directly asked Pikachu to use his electric ultimate move. Lightning as thick as a bucket burst out from Pikachu's tiny body and rushed towards Skank. Violent lightning washed over the body of Stinky Flower. Hold on! Take root! Zhang Yu continued to command the use of root. Haha! Although Vileflower looked painful, strangely, she did not lose consciousness until the thunder stopped. What? What's going on? Olsen was also confused. The amount of meat was a bit outrageous. As we all know, electricity is conductive. Zhang Yu asked Vileplume to use rooting, on the one hand to restore its strength, and on the other hand to transmit electricity underground. Pikachu is too fast, and it is very difficult to dodge, so it is better to just take it head-on. However, Zhang Yu did not intend to explain. The energy load of thunder is also very heavy for Pikachu. After using this move, Pikachu was breathing slightly on the spot. Zhang Yu once again asked Vileflower to use various powders, but they were ignited in the air by Pikachu's electric net. Root was also infused with a large amount of electricity, making it temporarily unusable. Currently, Skank has less stamina than Pikachu. Electric shock doesn't work, so what about this trick, Shadow Clone? Olsen continued to give orders, and Pikachu's figure shook, and 3 identical Pokémon appeared on the field. Iron Tail. Although the 2 shadows were shattered by the whip, the Iron Tail still hit the body of Stinky Flower hard. Skank also took this opportunity to hold onto Pikachu's tail. Great! Venom Attack! Zhang Yu shouted excitedly. Pikachu! 100,000 volts were transmitted from Pikachu's tail to Skank's body. But the other party refused to let go and sprayed a purple beam of light from its mouth. Hannah! The impact of the 2 energies caused a small explosion. Both parties lost consciousness, Mr. Au won. In the end, both Vileflower and Pikachu ran out of energy, but Zhang Yu won the level because he still had Pokémon to fight. However, he did not celebrate happily, but instead rushed to the Pokémon Center with Skank in his arms to recover. Zhang Yu didn't expect that Stinky Flower had such a strong fighting spirit. She could even insist on a 1-for-1 trade in that situation. Under Miss Joy's rebuke, Zhang Yu promised that he would never let his Pokémon fight so hard next time. It's a good thing you're okay, Stinky Flower. I was so worried about you. Zhang Yu hugged it. Haha, Choshuhua smiled foolishly and hugged Zhang Yu. Although Floey doesn't have many clever ideas, she has a lot of love for her trainer. Wow! Vileplume is so powerful. After coming back from training, Lilie listened to Zhang Yu's talk about today's battle and was amazed at Vileplume's strength. Mai Mei and Huahua also circled around Choshuhua. Hannah! She still looks dazed, and it's hard to associate her with the desperate Vileflower on the battlefield. Then Au, do you still want to challenge Ma Zishi? Lilie asked. Although he has obtained the qualification to challenge the gym owner, Zhang Yu also knows that he may not be able to beat Ma Zishi, as even the goalkeeper's strength and coordination are so strong. There is still a lot of room for improvement. No, I'm not strong enough to get the Witherleaf badge at the moment. I want to train for a while first, or catch a new Pokémon, Zhang Yu replied. It is necessary for me to capture another Pokémon to enrich the team's attributes. If you're challenging the Dead Leaf Gym, the Rock attribute might be more suitable. Lilia recommended after hearing Zhang Yu's idea. That makes sense. Let's see if we can have the chance to encounter a rock Pokémon. Zhang Yu still remembers Yonkai's Onyx, which was long, thick, and very handsome. But now I know that my strength is average in Kanto, and challenging the gym is a long way to go, so there is no need to rush. Let's do the things in front of us first, for example, go to Daigon Island and fulfill the wish of Stinky Flower. Are you leaving? The next morning, Zhang Yu told Lilie about his idea. He originally wanted to wait until he finished watching her competition before going to Daigon Island, but there was still more than half a month before the competition, which was enough time for him to go back and forth. Besides, it was not a big deal for him to stay at Lilie's house all the time. Don't worry, I will be back soon and will definitely be able to catch up with your game. Zhang Yu made an okay gesture. Well, since you have something important to do, go and do it first. Lilie's voice was a little low, but she also knew that Wildflower's matter was very important. After adding the navigator as a friend, the two agreed to call each other when they came back. Zhang Yu was not surprised that Lilie, a young lady, had a navigator. After arriving at the dock, we quickly boarded the boat to Daigon Island. After waving goodbye to Lilie, we embarked on a new journey again. Daigon Island is located in the southwest of the Orange Islands and is also the location of Dr. Uchiki's research institute. After 2 days of sailing, Zhang Yu finally arrived at Daigon Island. As soon as he got off the boat, he immediately felt the same feeling he had had at the Orange Islands, the breath of the south. The buildings on this island are relatively wild. A large amount of jungle wood was used as building material, blending in with the forest. Walking through the path in the forest, Zhang Yu saw many Pokémon with strange patterns or colors, which were very different from those in other areas. It's probably due to regional influences. The same creature looks different in different regions. He thought of how animals on Earth are similar to Pokémon. That's right. Young man, you know a lot about Pokémon. Suddenly a figure walked out from the woods nearby and agreed with Zhang Yu's point of view. Looking at the woman in front of him who was wearing a white coat and dressed like a researcher, Zhang Yu was a little confused. Excuse me, who are you? Chapter 29, Dr. Uchiki? Clues to the Sunstone. Nice to meet you. I'm Naki. However, judging from your attire, you don't seem to be a local. Naki. Zhang Yu remembered that this was Professor Uchiki who had given him a place when he first registered as a trainer. He didn't expect to meet the real person here. Ah. Hello, Professor Naki. I'm a traveling trainer, my name is Au. He briefly introduced himself. At this time, 3 people in research suits walked out of the forest, 2 men and 1 woman. Doctor, today's investigation has basically been completed. Please take a look and see if there is anything else that needs to be modified. One of the male researchers handed a document to Dr. Uchiki. Well, okay, let's go back to the institute first. Au, do you want to come with me? Can you tell me about the differences in regional Pokémon you encounter during your travels? Professor Uchiki was somewhat interested in the fact that there were trainers who understood Pokémon survival, and invited Zhang Yu. Zhang Yu also went there happily. That was Professor Pokémon. It was the first time he met an expert in Pokémon, so it was important to build a good relationship with him. On the way back to the research institute, Dr. Niimu and Zhang Yu talked a lot about the differences in Pokémon in different places, but Zhang Yu only knew a little about the Orange Islands area. But when he talked about what happened when he participated in the Poseidon Festival, Dr. Naki became interested. 3 sacred birds and the sea god. This is really important information. Thank you, Au. I usually spend a long time doing research, so I don't know much about external celebrations. As a thank you, please stay here for lunch. Zhang Yu originally wanted to decline the invitation, but since he had already arrived at the institute, it didn't seem appropriate to leave now, so he accepted the invitation. Suddenly, a female researcher came close to Dr. Uchiki's ear and whispered something, which made the doctor look a little embarrassed. Ah ha ha ha, Au, what flavor of instant noodles do you like? After the assistant's explanation, Zhang Yu realized that Dr. Naki was obsessed with studying Pokémon, so he didn't care about eating, drinking, and having fun, and it was normal for him to eat instant noodles in the research institute. What's wrong with instant noodles? They taste good. And they save time. Dr. Uchiki's voice became lower and lower. In fact, this was because her research expenses were too high and she couldn't afford to hire a chef. Now Dr. Uchiki also has an assistant who follows her purely out of his love for Pokémon. Zhang Yu admires this spirit of dedication to scientific research, but eating instant noodles all the time is not good for the body. It's okay. I just happened to bring some seasonings. We can just cook and eat. The fruit resources on Daigan Island are quite abundant. Together with his assistant, Zhang Yu picked a lot of blue oranges, peaches, and other fruits. Adding the leftover rice, he simply made a pot of fruit rice pudding. Wow, I haven't had a real meal in a long time. I'm so touched, said a female researcher, wiping away her tears. The others nodded in agreement. Zhang Yu looked at the people who were eating like crazy. As expected, doing research is not something that ordinary people can do. He was touched that they could eat all the food. Who? Hiccup. Dr. Uchiki patted his stomach in an ungraceful manner and burped. I'm really grateful to you today, Au. I'm now very motivated to do research. Clenching his fists, Dr. Niima prepared to go out and continue his research. Dr. Uchiki, do you know where the Sunstone is? Zhang Yu did not forget the reason why he came to Daigan Island, and took this opportunity to ask the doctor. Dr. Uchiki paused, thought for a moment, and then spoke. Sunstone? This thing is not very common. Only some Pokémon's special evolution requires it. Looking at Zhang Yu, Dr. Niima showed an understanding expression. You're right, I want this child to evolve into a beautiful flower, so. After releasing the stinky flower, Zhang Yu touched its head and said. Hannah. Stinky flower tilted her head. The stinky flower, seems a little special, let me take a look. As soon as Dr. Uchiki saw the stinky flower, his research spirit seemed to be burning. He took out a magnifying glass from his pocket and carefully observed the pattern and color of the stinking flower. Dr. Uchiki even dipped his hand into a little nectar and put it in his mouth to taste it. Sigma, degree, Zhang Yu was shocked by the other party's fanatical research ability. Eating nectar directly was too powerful. Au, your stinking flower is well developed and seems to have a bold personality. The nectar tastes pure, but it is probably not a variety from the Orange Islands. Some of the patterns grow counterclockwise, and look like varieties from the Hone region. Dr. Uchiki analyzed seriously. As expected of a doctor. Zhang Yu still underestimated the Pokémon doctor's ability. He was able to analyze so much information in just a few minutes. If you want to evolve into a beautiful flower. I happen to have a project about beautiful flowers, so come with me. Dr. Niimu asked his assistants to stay in the laboratory to analyze the data, while he took Zhang Yu out to look for the sunstone. An hour later, behind a big tree, two people quietly hid their heads behind the tree. Doctor, why are we here? There's nothing ahead. Looking at the open space in front of him, Zhang Yu asked a question. Don't worry, you'll know soon. Dr. Naki continued to stare ahead. Coming. There was a rustling sound in the forest. This is. I saw several walking grasses coming to the open space, followed by several stinking flowers, and the queen flower and beautiful flower joined them. Is this the walking grass family? Zhang Yu asked Dr. Niima quietly. However, he did not get an answer. Dr. Naki pointed forward and signaled him to continue looking. Defa, the largest queen flower, called out, and the rest of the walking grasses, queen flowers, and beautiful flowers formed a circle. And a few stinking flowers are in the middle of the circle. It was 2 o'clock in the afternoon, when the sun was at its hottest. The leader of the Queen of Flowers placed a few stones next to the stinky flowers in the middle. Defu. Following the command, the surrounding Pokémon began to turn in a circle. This is their evolutionary ritual. Just as I thought, these days are their evolutionary time. Dr. Naki suddenly said. Evolution ritual. Zhang Yu nodded, thinking silently in his heart. Hannah. Several vile flowers also started dancing along with the Pokémon around them, and the stones on the ground glowed under the direct sunlight. The bodies of the stinky flowers are also changing in the light. Although the ceremony lasted for about 10 minutes, the evolution time of the smelly flower was very short and the light only lasted about 10 seconds. After returning to normal, several queen flowers and beautiful flowers appeared in the open space in the middle. Defu. The leader of the queen flowers waved his hand, and the walking grasses on the open space followed it and jumped away. As you can see, this area is where the Queen of Flowers live. They will hold evolution ceremonies for the stinking flowers in the tribe at specific times. Dr. Naki said, pointing to the front. Although it is possible to evolve a vile flower directly using the sunstone, my observations show that a vile flower undergoing the evolution ritual will be larger than a normal evolved form. But I'm not sure whether the moves will become more powerful, and this project is also aimed at studying this. After listening to what Dr. Naki said, Zhang Yu fell into deep thought. Of course, he hoped that Skank would evolve into something extraordinary, but how to include it in the evolution ceremony was a problem. This week is the time period for the evolution ceremony. You can try to get in touch with the Pokémon group. Pokémon are generally very kind. Dr. Naki saw Zhang Yu's inner concerns and reminded him. Chapter 30. Today's evolution ceremony is over, and the two returned to the research institute. Dr. Uchiki said he was going to write a report, while Zhang Yu was thinking about how to get Smelly Flower to join the next evolution ceremony. After much thought, I finally decided to have a chat with the leader of the Queen Flower tomorrow. Hannah. Seeing Zhang Yu frowning, Chu Shuhua patted his leg with her hand. What's wrong, stinky flower? Hannah. It wanted to comfort the trainer and tell him not to look so sad. I'm fine, I was just thinking about your evolution. Zhang Yu carried the stinky flower to the sofa and sat with it, then touched its head and said. Haha, the black seahorse also wanted to be hugged, so he hugged it and put it on the sofa. Zhang Yu looked into the little eyes of the stinky flower and said, don't you want to evolve into a beautiful flower? Today I found a group of Tyrannosaurus Rex. They can use the evolution ceremony to turn you into a beautiful flower. Haha. Vashan suddenly became a little excited. Huh? You said you don't want to be my Liwa? But you clearly envied my Liwa's appearance before. Zhang Yu was a little surprised. Did he guess wrong? What's wrong? At this time, Dr. Niimu came over with a document in his hand. Zhang Yu told Dr. Naki about his experience with, interactions with, and understanding of Smelly Flower. Perhaps, you have always misunderstood its meaning. Is it possible that it wants to evolve into a queen flower? Mela is basically used as a performance Pokémon, while Tyrannosaurus is more of a partner that fights alongside the trainer. It's possible that your Stinkpoke is more willing to fight, Dr. Uchiki analyzed while looking at the Stinkpoke on the sofa. A word to awaken the dreamer. Looking back, Vile Flower always fought with all her might, whether it was to protect herself or to challenge the gym. But I didn't notice the changes in the stinky flower and thought it had always been the beautiful walking grass. Now, the little walking grass that needed to be held has grown up. Yes. Pokémon and humans have their own thoughts. We can't always look at them with a fixed perspective. Thanks to Dr. Uchiki, otherwise I would still be stuck in this dead end. Thank you. Dr. Uchiki, I know what to do now. After waiting for 2 consecutive days, Zhang Yu finally found a group of queen flowers in the same forest on the 3rd day. Day 4. It is still a combination of walking grass, stinky flower, queen flower/beautiful flower, but they are currently drinking water by a small river and are not in a hurry to evolve. Zhang Yu quietly released the stinky flower and said, use the sweet fragrance. The stinking flower shook the bud on its head, and a special smell emanated. Day 4. A queen flower shook its petals, as if it smelled something delicious, and turned to report to the largest queen flower. Seeing this, Zhang Yu quickly took out a large bag of tree fruit dumplings that he had prepared in advance. The fragrance of the dumplings and the sweet aroma made the queen flowers that were drinking water look for the source of the smell. Day 4. The Queen of Flowers pushed aside the bushes and found a human and a stinking flower eating in the forest. Oh! So delicious! Zhang Yu ate the dumpling in one bite in an exaggerated manner, and then fed another one to the stinky flower. Haha! Smelly flower's eyes instantly became starry, indicating that it was so delicious. But Zhang Yu was just acting, and Chu Shuhua really thought it was delicious. Fu. When Amazon saw the other person eating delicious food, she wiped her saliva. I've been so worried about the evolution of my tribe recently that I haven't been eating well. There's a show. When Zhang Yu saw the other party's performance, he realized that the plan was half successful. There is so much food. What if we can't finish it and waste it? He sighed and deliberately said in the direction where Queen Flower was peeking. It would be nice if there were lots of Pokémon to help me eat them. Defo. The other peeking Queen Flower shouted excitedly. Hashtag, when the leader of the Queen of Flowers saw that one of her tribesmen had exposed himself so quickly, she angrily slapped the other's butt. Defo. Who's there? Zhang Yu said in surprise. Hannah. Smelly Flower also looked alert. Seeing that he could no longer hide, he could only lead the tribe out. Duo. Several little walking grasses looked at Zhang Yu curiously, smelling the fragrance of the dumplings and drooling. It's Queen of Flowers and Vile Flower. Can you go and ask them what's the matter? Zhang Yu asked his Pokémon to communicate with the other party. Taking into account that some Pokémon are very wary, this time I deliberately used the food lure tactic. Once the other party eats my food, it will be much easier to ask for help. Seeing the Pokémon of the same type as itself coming over, the boss flower let down his guard. After chatting for a while, Amazon became very happy. Hannah. Chushuhua came back and told Zhang Yu that the plan was successful. Are you hungry? Well, I happen to have a lot of food here, you can come and eat. The simple-minded Queen of Flowers don't understand the principle of being grateful to those who have helped them. When they see something delicious, they are happy to share the food. Are you full? Zhang Yu asked the leader of the Amazon flower. Defo. Amazon flower patted Zhang Yu's hand. This human was quite nice. Ugh. Duh. Seeing the human in front of her suddenly sigh, Amazona was a little confused. Zhang Yu pulled Chushuhua over and said with a worried look on his face. This child wants to evolve, but I haven't found a way to do it, which makes me anxious. It would be great if it could evolve, Stinky Flower would be happy every day. Zhang Yu began to pooh the inexperienced Queen of Flowers. Seeing the human in front of her worrying about such a small matter, Queen Flower patted her stomach and said that this was too easy. The ceremony was not held these 2 days because it was cloudy, otherwise the remaining few stinky flower petals in the tribe could have evolved. Fortunately, the weather returned to normal today, so the ceremony could continue. Defo. After eating someone else's food, it's only right that you do them a favor. The Queen Flower raised her arms and led her group and Zhang Yu back to the open space where they evolved last time. His own stinky flower successfully joined the team, and under the circling ceremony of a group of flowers, a few special stones were placed in front of it. So it was the one who chose its own evolution. Just like last time, this time it was clearer. A smelly flower touched a fiery red stone with its hand, and under the ritual of the Queen Flower/Beauty Flower, its body emitted white light. After the white light dissipated, a beautiful flower appeared on the field. After a while, it was her turn to have her stinky flower. Is it finally coming? Although Zhang Yu guessed the result, he was still very excited when he saw his smelly flower evolve into Queen Flower. Sure enough, what Dr. Uchiki said was right. After the ceremony, Zhang Yu and the stinky flower, no, now the Queen Flower, said goodbye to the Queen Flower clan. Defo. Deep in its heart, Skank has always longed to grow into a powerful Pokémon that stands tall and proud. It once envied the graceful figure of Bellflower, but the years it spent with its trainer made it more determined to become a strong Pokémon that can protect everyone. When Seahorse hid behind it for shelter, the heavy sense of responsibility made Smelly look forward to the future. I'm sorry, Skank, no, Vile Flower, I ignored your true thoughts before. Zhang Yu was full of apologies, realizing that as a trainer, he still had a lot to learn and improve. Defo, the evolved Queen Flower is no longer the same as before. Its height has increased from 80 cm to 140 cm, and now it can easily hold Zhang Yu's hand. It gently rubbed Zhang Yu's chest with the petals on its head. This action made Zhang Yu feel the warmth and trust in the Queen of Flowers' heart. Zhang Yu took out a Pokeball and said, Inky Seahorse, get to know Smelly Flower again. It can dominate Smelly Flower now. Hi! The black seahorse that just came out of the Pokeball was startled. But after the explanation, it became very curious about the Queen Flower. It jumped from Zhang Yu's arms onto the petals of the Queen of Flowers, and accidentally breathed in some pollen, causing it to sneeze. Defo, both Amazon and Zhang Yu were amused by the little seahorse. Chapter 31. Congratulations! Smelly Flower has evolved into Tyrannosaurus. Professor Uchiki congratulated Zhang Yu and the Pokémon who had followed him after he returned. I still have to thank you, doctor, otherwise I wouldn't have been able to lead it to complete evolution so easily. Zhang Yu pinched the petals of the Queen of Flowers. The evolved super large petals felt as elastic as pudding when pinched. Dei-fu. Nei Mu took out a tape measure and measured the Queen of Flowers. 140 centimeters, 20 centimeters taller than a normal evolution. It must be the blessing of the Pokémon that received the evolution ceremony. So do you want to test the power of your moves? Zhang Yu also wanted to see the new abilities of Amazon, so he followed the doctor to the backyard of the research institute. There were some obstacles in the yard and a machine whose purpose was unknown. Valeriana, use the moves you have learned against those obstacles. Dr. Uchiki and her assistants started the machine. This machine can record and analyze the strength of the moves. Following a series of high-tech ding-dong sounds, the doctor made an OK gesture. Zhang Yu said to the Queen of Flowers, use offensive moves first. Dei-fu. The body of the Queen of Flowers glowed faintly, and a mysterious force directly smashed a target in front of it. At this time, the machine also displayed the analysis results on the screen: secret power, excellent strength. Then came the data that Zhang Yu himself could not understand, and the doctor and others were recording them carefully. Well, Amazon, go ahead. This time, the petals of the Queen of Flowers began to glow, and about 3 seconds later, a dazzling beam of light shot out from the stamens on top of its head towards the obstacle. When the light faded, not even a fragment of the obstacle remained, and it turned into a wisp of black smoke. Sunbeam, excellent power. The test lasted until the evening. During the break, Zhang Yu bought a lot of vegetables from the city and cooked delicious food for everyone. Ayu, you will definitely become famous if you become a chef. Several assistants praised the dish while eating. With Zhang Yu at the institute, the food has finally become normal these days, and it tastes better than the food you buy. The doctors and their colleagues have gained some weight. In the evening, an assistant came and handed Zhang Yu a stack of information. The doctor is still doing research. This is the test result of your Tyrannosaurus today. The doctor also said that Tyrannosaurus may have many more moves to master as it grows. After taking the information and thanking the other party, Zhang Yu began to look through the information carefully. There are more than a dozen densely packed words in the column for the moves that have been mastered so far. Leaving aside the offensive ones, Zhang Yu also discovered that the Queen Flower had learned 2 healing moves, aromatherapy and pollen ball. During the past few days at the Research Institute, relying on the rich resources of Professor Uchiki, Zhang Yu has made up for all the knowledge about Pokémon. Although not in depth, he has gained some understanding of many moves. In this case, we don't even need to go to the Pokémon Center anymore, and Tyrannosaurus Rex can be a doctor. Zhang Yu happily took out a ball of tree fruits and fed it to the Queen of Flowers. It had grown very tall now and could stand on the ground at the same level as Zhang Yu was sitting. After reading the information, I have a better understanding of the strength of Amazon. Zhang Yu felt that the time was about right and he could go back to Guandu. He had been here for almost a week and it was still in time for him to go back. Hello Lily. Take out the navigator and call Lily to confirm the location. Hi. Ayu Lilie looked like she had just taken a shower, her hair was wet. Hi. Did Scolopendra evolve into Queen of Flowers? Lily was a little surprised. After I told her about what happened recently, Lily showed a look of astonishment. I'm in Cerulean City now. When will you come back? I will probably be back in Vermilion City in 3 days, and then I can take the Tujula train to Cerulean City. Zhang Yu thought for a moment and replied. After confirming the meeting time, the two chatted a little more about what had happened to them recently and then ended the call. Before leaving, Dr. Uchiki brought over a document and asked Zhang Yu to hand it over to Dr. Oki in Pallet Town. Zhang Yu readily agreed. He was going to travel to Kanto anyway, and he could take this opportunity to meet another doctor, so why not go? 2 days later, they returned to the Dead Leaf Harbor, which was still bustling with people. After finally getting off the ship, Zhang Yu went straight to the station, ready to go to Hualan City. The Tutu train brings you a smooth journey. Zhang Yu rented a dodo. Vermilion City and Cerulean City were very close, separated only by Golden City. In order to facilitate the travel of trainers, a wide road was specially built. Many trainers would ride dodo to various cities. Although Dodoli is not very big, it runs fast and steadily. It is basically controlled by the Alliance and used as a transportation Pokémon. It only took half a day to arrive in Hualan City. After Zhang Yu returned Dujula to the station staff, he called Lilie again. Hello, Au, are you already in Cerulean City? I'll be waiting for you at the entrance of the Cerulean Gym. After learning Lily's location, Zhang Yu quickly arrived at the Hualan Gym. Sure enough, there was a girl in a blue sportswear standing at the door. Long time no see, Lilie. After the two greeted each other, they started chatting. Why did you come to Cerulean City? Zhang Yu asked curiously. Hehe, actually I'm still one step short of a gorgeous medal so I can participate in the gorgeous conference. Lilie stuck out her tongue and smiled sheepishly. I came here this time to get the last medal, but I need to fight a gorgeous battle in the last match, and I can only get the medal after winning. I am really weak in battle. Lily had a headache because her Maimei and Huahua were not good at fighting, which led to her not getting the last medal. The Grand Glamour contest will begin in 2 weeks. If I don't get the last medal, my 6 months of hard work will be wasted. A gorgeous battle. Zhang Yu didn't quite understand. To put it simply, it means using Pokémon to complete battles elegantly. Lily looked at Zhang Yu and suddenly her eyes lit up. By the way, Au, you are so strong, can you teach me how to fight? Lily's eyes were full of stars. Please. 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 Zhang Yu had originally agreed to watch Lily's game, and besides, a battle would be a good opportunity for his Pokémon to exercise, so he readily agreed to Lily's request. The two agreed to undergo special training at Yuejian Mountain, west of Cerulean City. Chapter 32, Special Training at Yuejian Mountain. The Queen of Flowers joins the training. Following the western road all the way to Yuejian Mountain, Zhang Yu and Lilie made sufficient preparations for good results in the special training. They even made some purchases in Hualan City and would not return until they had achieved good results. Looking at the deep cave in front of her, Lily hesitated. Is it true that there won't be any scary Pokémon in here? Zhang Yu saw Lilia's slightly frightened expression and couldn't help but smile and comforted her. Don't worry, Lilia, I have already made a detailed strategy. Although there are many wild Pokémon in this cave, most of them are very gentle and not very dangerous. And many trainers choose to come here for training. Hearing this, Lilie felt relieved and nodded to show that she understood. But she still couldn't help but nervously pull Zhang Yu's clothes, and the two walked into the cave of Yuejian Mountain together. Although it looks quite dark outside, it feels okay once you actually go inside Mount Tsukimi. There are some gaps on the top that let light in, and the overall brightness is about the same as outside in the evening. Along the way, the two also saw several trainers catching Guedudes here. After walking for a while, they found a fairly spacious area, cleared the rubble, and Zhang Yu and Lily released all their Pokémon. Deifu. Well then. Queen Flower and Beautiful Flower greeted each other. The black seahorse was held in Zhang Yu's arms. The rocky ground was too rough and uncomfortable for it. Now that we are ready, let's prepare for special training. Zhang Yu placed the purchased night lights around the room to make the space brighter. Let's take a look at what moves Maimei and Huahua have first. Lily, let's have a battle. Zhang Yu sent out his own Queen of Flowers, while Lilia sent out two beautiful flowers together. This was a test battle, so there was no need to let Mo Haima go into the field. Vakera, use hold. Take the opponent's attack. Defu. Upon hearing Zhang Yu's words, Amazon spread out her hands and built a green shield in front of her body. Lilia also commanded Mai Luo to use the moves she knew. Well. Maimei and Huahua hesitated for a while, and used magic leaves at the same time. However, the power was only medium. The shield of Queen Flower just vibrated for a moment and did not dissipate. Continue. Seeing that the defense had not been broken and could still hold, Zhang Yu said to continue the attack. This time it's Petal Dance, a powerful grass-type move. When two beautiful flowers are released, the noise is quite loud. After Queen of the Flowers' defense was broken, Petal Dance continued to attack forward without losing momentum. Growth, we also dance with petals. Deifu. The Queen of Flowers took a breath, and its body suddenly grew larger. Then the huge petals on its head shook vigorously, and dense pink petals appeared on the field, flying towards the beautiful flower like a tornado. Maimei Huahua. Use butterfly dance. Even if Lilie was dumb, she still knew how to defend herself. Although your Pokémon won't be able to defend, Butterfly Dance can improve its defense. The two beautiful flowers held hands and danced like Butterfree. Although their defense was improved, they were still knocked away by the petal dance. Queen Flower used the grass slide to quickly move to the location where the beautiful flower fell and borrowed two Pokémon. Ah! Thank you, Amazon. Lilia hurried over and used medicine to treat Mai Mei and Huahua. Zhang Yu also came over. Your beautiful flower club should have quite a few moves, and they are quite powerful, but fighting still requires some strategy. Strategy? Lilia scratched her head. Isn't it enough to just shout out the name of the move? Let me tell you what strategy is. Zhang Yu shared his experience gained from the battle with Lilia. Is it possible to do this? Oh! Lilia seems to have opened the door to a new world, and her knowledge has increased. For example, use Butterfly Dance to withstand the opponent's close-range attack, and then use a variety of powders to add status to the opponent. After gaining the advantage, use Poison and Ultimate Absorption. Lilia looked at Zhang Yu with a complicated look, always feeling that these tactics were a bit shady. Hey! We didn't break the rules. Aren't Pokémon's moves meant to be used? Zhang Yu didn't care if it was shady or not. In the end, there were winners and losers in a battle. If you don't want to lose, you have to be ruthless. Anyway, there won't be any life-threatening opponents. Lilia nodded and accepted this statement. In order to successfully participate in the gorgeous competition, special training. Next, under Zhang Yu's instruction, Lilia's way of commanding Mai Luo's attack became unpredictable. The Overlord flower held a huge green light blade and slashed at the beautiful flower. Mai Mei, hold on! Bana! Mai Mei's body flashed with yellow light, and she took the sunlight blade of the Queen of Flowers head on. Magic Flash! The beauty flower used up its last bit of strength to emit light. At close range, the Queen Flower was hit by the magic flash and suffered considerable damage. Great, Lilia! You've made great progress. After both parties took back their Pokémon, Zhang Yu gave Lilia a thumbs up. Having stayed and ate at Yuejian Mountain for 2 consecutive days, Lily's two Mai Luo have been training hard. Mai Mei can now cause considerable damage to the Queen of Flowers, while Huahua is a little weaker. In fact, this is normal. Originally, Meliota is also the final evolved form. Although its attack is a little weaker, it is not much different. Moreover, these two Meliota should have also gone through the evolution ceremony. They are a circle larger than the Meliota introduced in the illustration. Then the next step is the gorgeousness training. Lily sat with Mai Luo and did stretching exercises to relax the muscles all over their bodies. Zhang Yu didn't know how to do gorgeous training, but he was very happy to see Queen Flower and Black Seahorse twisting their bodies with them, so he observed and learned from them. Because Lily usually undergoes a lot of fancy training, the moves of Mai Mei and Huahua appear very elegant, while her own Queen of Flowers attacks quickly, accurately, and ruthlessly, and everything is based on the criterion of being able to produce results. Well then! The beautiful flower spun its body, and several magic leaves flew out as it danced. Brush a stone in front was cut into several pieces. After special training, its moves became much more powerful. It was also easier to use. Lily then directed the two beauties, adjusting each move and looking very professional. As expected of Lilia, who has received 4 gorgeous medals. Zhang Yu sighed. He knew nothing about this. Deifu. Haha. His two Pokémon also followed along and learned a lot. Pippi. A little pink head popped out from behind a rock in the distance, looking very curious at the Pokémon dancing in front of it. Chapter 33. Baby, you are a fluffy little marshmallow. Hi. We're finally ready. Lily drank some water to moisten her throat. The two beautiful flowers also looked tired. Participating in the gorgeous competition is not only Lily's goal, but also their goal, so they have been training hard. It just so happens that I have cooked some soup. Come and have some. Zhang Yu invited them to come and eat. In view of the high-intensity training in the past 2 days, I added a lot of body-nourishing ingredients to the meals I cooked. Wow, it's still so delicious. Bar that. X2. Pippi. There seemed to be some strange noises just now. Zhang Yu took the eating Queen Flower and looked around. You, what's wrong? Lilia, who was eating happily, obviously didn't hear the strange cry. Pie. Looking at the human walking towards him, the pie baby hiding behind the stone quickly shrank back. Dafo the queen flower pulled Zhang Yu's hand and pointed at the little tail that was shaking behind the stone in front. Zhang Yu waved his hand, and Amazon nodded to show that he understood. Dafo. A yellow powder floated behind the stone. Pai Bao, who was praying that he wouldn't be seen, suddenly felt very sleepy. Wow, he yawned and rubbed his eyes, but eventually he couldn't resist the power of the sleeping powder and fell into a deep sleep. It's good to be young, you can fall asleep as soon as you lie down. Zhang Yu suddenly thought of this sentence. Seeing that the other person had fallen asleep, he slowly walked over. This is D. Au, what did you find? Ah. Lilia also walked over with her Pokémon out of curiosity, but when she saw the Pibbo, she suddenly screamed. Lilia reacted and saw Zhang Yu and Pokémon's frightened expressions, and covered her mouth embarrassedly. It's a baby. Super cute and super soft baby. Au, how did you find it? Lilia's excitement made Zhang Yu feel helpless. This kid seemed to be peeking at us, so I asked Amazon to use sleeping powder. Zhang Yu explained. We're so lucky. This is a very rare Pokémon. Lily said, and couldn't help but reach out and touch the Pokémon's head. It's really soft. Lilia said happily. Seeing how Lilia loved Pai Bao so much, Zhang Yu also touched the sleeping Pai Bao. It's really soft, just like the same thing. Zhang Yu picked it up and felt like a little doll. Do you want to tame it? Au. Lilia said enviously, this is a rare leather treasure, many young masters and young ladies from wealthy families can't even find one. Although Zhang Yu also thought it was cute, he already had 2 Pokémon, so he wanted a larger and more functional Pokémon. I have no plans to conquer her yet. I see you seem to like her very much. Do you want to conquer her? Zhang Yu asked Lilia. Is it okay? Wow. Thank you so much, Au. Lilia was so excited that she got the chance to tame Pai Bao that she hugged Zhang Yu. This. Zhang Yu didn't expect the other party's reaction to be so intense, and was a little confused for a moment. Sorry, Au, I'm too excited. Lilia reacted and suddenly jumped away, her face turning red. Fortunately, the light in the cave was dim and Zhang Yu couldn't see clearly, so she expressed her understanding. Then use the Pokeball now to capture it. Zhang Yu handed the Pokémon in his hand to Lily. Seeing that Zhang Yu had no other reaction, Lilia breathed a sigh of relief, but also felt a little disappointed. However, when he saw the baby pie in front of him, he couldn't wait to take out a high-end ball and gently placed it on its head. Because it was asleep, the Pokeball shook symbolically and made a ding sound. The Pokémon was captured successfully. Yet, I have a baby. Lily jumped up happily. Back at the dining area, Lilia let the new member out to introduce him to everyone. Pie. Although he was a little timid at first, after delicious food and massage, Baby Pie accepted the fact that he was conquered. It had originally followed a shooting star to Yuejian Mountain, and had wandered around for a long time. Now it had finally found a safe haven. After eating and drinking, the group prepared to return to Hualan City. They had to hurry up to get the qualification for the gorgeous competition, otherwise it would be too late. All the way, Lilia was holding the baby, kneading and squeezing him. Wow, this is so cute. Baby Pie also enjoys the feeling of being liked. Haki W. The black seahorse sat in Zhang Yu's arms and also wanted to be pinched. Zhang Yu smiled and gave it a gentle massage. The little guy even knew how to act coquettishly. It was already afternoon when they came out of Yuejian Mountain, and they quickly arrived at the Hualan Gym. The last gorgeous medal is in the Cerulean Gym. After entering the gym, Zhang Yu felt like he was in a water world, with circles of stands around and a water-filled field in the center. The overall color was blue, with lots of water-type Pokémon wallpapers on the walls. Hello, we are here for a gorgeous battle. Lily said to the sister at the gym's front desk. Oh, I'm sorry, what a coincidence. Our owner is performing a ballet show in the aquarium and may not be available until the evening. The sister at the front desk said apologetically. How could this happen? Lilia was a little disappointed, but still thanked him politely. It's okay, let's wait here, we can just watch the show. Zhang Yu found an empty seat and sat down, watching a trainer and a white sea lion performing in the central venue. There was no choice but to wait. Lilie sat next to Zhang Yu and watched the performance below. When they saw the fourth performance, the audience suddenly became excited. In the center of the venue, a stage pillar slowly rose from the audience, and on it stood three beautiful women with good figures. The red-haired elder sister standing in the center picked up the microphone and said, "Dear audience, today's performance ends here. I hope you can continue to support us tomorrow." The audience burst into cheers. It seems that Hualan Gym is very popular. Zhang Yu was a little surprised. After looking at the figures of the three sisters on the stage and then looking at herself, Lily suddenly felt a little reluctant to challenge the Hualan Gym. After most people had left, Zhang Yu and Lilie found the owner of the museum and explained their purpose. It turned out that the owner of the museum was the red-haired sister. After some introduction, I learned that her name was Mudan. Handsome boy, you wanna challenge the gym? Peony looked at them with a smile. He brought his girlfriend with him, how romantic. Zhang Yu's face turned red, and he explained, "No, it's Lilia who wants to challenge the gorgeous battle, and we are not a couple." Lilia was also made extremely shy by Mudan. But the person involved, Mudan, looked like she understood, which made the two of them even more embarrassed. "Gorgeous battle, you are going to participate in the gorgeous contest, right?" "Yes. Please accept my challenge." Lilie nodded and asked. "Sure, let me change my clothes." "Xioxia, take the two guests to the battle site and wait for me." Mudan shouted into the house and went to change her clothes. "I know. Really, you always need my help." An impatient voice sounded, and a little girl about 5 or 6 years old with a short ponytail came out of the house. When he came to Zhang Yu and Lilie, he said politely, "Two guests, please follow me." Chapter 34, Gorgeous Battle. Lily also uses dirty tactics. What a cute little sister. Lilie wanted to hug Xioxia, but she dodged her. The little girl who was just polite became a little angry. "I'm not cute at all. I want to be the greatest water Pokémon master in the future." After bringing the two to their destination, Misty said angrily. "Hey, Xioxia is saying nonsense again." Mudan came over and picked up Xioxia. "Let me go, sister. I'm not a child anymore." Xioxia broke free from her arms and ran back into the house. "This child." Mudan held her head helplessly. Zhang Yu thought it was great, it's good for children to have dreams. "I think Xioxia is very courageous." "Ha ha ha, is that so? I thought so too. I just didn't agree with her because I was afraid she would go out traveling." Mudan was still worried about her youngest sister. But Xioxia was a person of action and would often sneak out on her own. "She will definitely be very happy to hear what you say," Mudan said with a smile. At this time, the referee arrived and the gorgeous battle could begin. "Sakura? Where's Icarus? Why is it you?" Peony asked the referee. "My second sister is going to the gym again, so I'll take over this time," Sakura replied. "Okay." Mudan was a little helpless, but her third sister could also be the referee. It was harmless. The duration of the grand battle is 5 minutes, the initial points are 10, 1 point will be deducted if the Pokémon is attacked, 1 point will be added if it attacks the opponent, and 1 point will be deducted if the same move is used twice in a row. Sakura briefly announced the rules and the competition was about to begin. Beep. With a whistle, Mudan released her Pokémon Goldfish. Doro the goldfish fell into the water in the venue. "Then I've decided it's you. Maimei. Bana." As the Milua with more skilled moves, Lily chose Maimei to play. Maimei came out of the Pokeball and landed on the floating platform in the pool. When Peony saw that the other party was a beautiful flower, there was no surprise, and the choice of attribute restraint was very reasonable. "If there is no action, we will attack first, Goldfish, move at high speed." Mudan was ready to increase the speed from the beginning to avoid being attacked and losing points. High Speed Star. Gathering energy from the horn, the high speed star of the horned goldfish follows. After training, Lily was no longer nervous. She decisively ordered, "Maimei, Diauu. Avoid the attack." Bana Maimei turned her body gracefully. High speed stars passed by it, but no star hit it. "Nice dance, but what about this trick?" Hot water. Doro. A large amount of hot water gathered in front of the goldfish and then poured onto the beautiful flower. It was obviously impossible to dodge a large-scale attack, so Lily had to make a choice. Magic leaf. Well. Maimei looked at the hot water rushing towards her, and several leaves appeared beside her. Brush the blades flew towards the water curtain, splitting the hot water. Although some of it fell on himself, it was only a slight injury. Good job. Maimei. Cover the water surface with a large area of poison powder. What? Peony saw Mai Luo dancing a beautiful dance while scattering poison powder everywhere. What a deadly beauty! The goldfish can only hide in the water to avoid poisoning. Hehe, we fell into the trap. Lilie and Zhang Yu learned it and smiled with a look of success. Maimei, use poison on the water. Well then. A stream of purple liquid condensed in front of the beautiful flower and was thrown into the water by it. The goldfish, which was swimming around in the water looking for an opportunity, watched the water gradually turn purple and was inevitably poisoned. Mutin looked at Lilie's smiling face and somehow felt something sinister. We can't waste time, we have to make it quick. Horned goldfish, super horned attack. A big fish, with a bright light on its head, slammed hard into the beautiful flower. Continue the butterfly dance. After increasing its speed, Mai Luo easily avoided the attack. The horned goldfish also took this opportunity to come to the platform. However, due to the poison powder, the purple color of its body deepened. Water ring. Serve. The goldfish, which had recovered some of its strength, stirred the water in the pool and instantly splashed it onto the platform. Maimei. Lilie didn't expect that Peony had this trick. Because Mai Luo didn't have poison, it also became poisoned after being splashed with pool water. However, because the time was short, its condition was much better than that of the goldfish. It's just a dying struggle, Maimei, parasitic seed. A large number of seeds fell on the small platform. It was already inconvenient for the goldfish to move, so it could only allow the parasitic seeds to absorb its energy. At this point, Mutin knew that she had lost. The opponent's tactics were very good. They forced the goldfish into the water, spread poison, and then went ashore to parasitize it. But why is this girl so cunning? She is so pretty. But Mutin still wants to rescue it. Goldfish, use water wave. Doro. Using up its last bit of energy, the horned goldfish condensed water energy to attack the beautiful flower. Flower dance. Take it away. The violent grass-type energy cut through the water waves and also took away the last bit of the goldfish's physical strength. The winner is Mai Luo. Sakura announced. The battle was decided in less than 5 minutes, so the points are useless. After winning, Lilie jumped for joy. This was her first real victory in a competition. Under the aromatic treatment and pollen balls of the queen flower, the 2 poisoned Pokémon quickly recovered. Thanks, Au, it saves me from going to the Pokémon Center again. Mutin walked over. Lilia, congratulations, you are very strong. This is the Hualan medal. Now it is yours. Mutin paused, as if she wanted to say something, but ultimately she didn't. Lilia was so happy that she didn't notice the details and pinned the medal inside her coat. He smiled and said to Zhang Yu, "Thank you, you. I got a medal. Then the next step is to go to the quartz plateau. We have to hurry up. We only have a week to start." Zhang Yu said as he looked at the navigator's map. Let's go. Watching the 2 of them leave, Mutin stood at the door and sighed, the innocent love is so good. Chapter 35, The One-Horned Rhino Goes on a Rampage? And the Unlucky Xiao Gang. Cerulean City is quite far from the Quartz Plateau, mainly because there is no direct road. If you want to ride Kentaro, it will probably take 4 days. In order to save time, Zhang Yu and Lilie decided to fly their Pidgeot Airlines. This way, it only takes 2 days to reach the venue of the gorgeous competition. Pedo 3 Pidgeots flapped their wings and flew towards the west. Zhang Yu and Lilie each had one, and they also rented a Pidgeot to transport the luggage. Zhang Yu was very excited as he watched Hualan City gradually shrinking below him. No matter what, flying on a big bird was so cool. It was even better than flying on an airplane. Lily was used to it, as she participated in many fancy competitions and often used the Pidgeot. We'll wait until this afternoon to rest in Deep Grey City, and then we'll be able to reach the quartz plateau by flying for another day tomorrow. Zhang Yu planned his time, otherwise even Pidgeot would not be able to bear flying for 2 consecutive days. The two set off in the morning and flew until noon. They ate something when they landed. Zhang Yu also took out food from the bag that Pidgeot carried with him and gave it to them. This was the fuel money that Pidgeot Airlines provided. We continued to move forward, and finally when the sky turned orange, we saw the dark grey city not far away. The 3 Pidgeots began to slowly descend, preparing to land. But just as they were about to reach Deep Grey City, a rumbling sound suddenly came from the rocky mountains behind them. This is... A group of one-horned rhinos passed by Pidgeot. Each of them weighed more than 200 kilograms and raised a large cloud of dust when they ran. There is a man riding a giant onyx running away in the front. No, we must find a way to stop the unicorn, otherwise we will be doomed if we rush into the city. The man riding on the onyx suddenly turned around. Rock blockade! Onyx raised its head and roared, summoning many large rocks to smash on the ground. Boom! The first few one-horned rhinos had no time to brake and crashed into the rocks, and the one-horned rhinos behind also collided with each other one after another due to inertia. When the smoke and dust cleared, many unconscious rhinos were seen lying all over the ground. However, some of them stopped in time and did not get hurt, and continued to charge at the man. Although Onyx kept attacking, Rhino did not receive much damage due to the same attributes. Instead, Onyx's movements gradually slowed down due to the round-robin battle. Be careful! The man shouted hurriedly. The largest one-horned rhinoceros slammed into the rock snake. Zhang Yu and Lilie looked at the battle below and exchanged glances. Go down and help. Who are you? The man looked at the 2 people who suddenly appeared with some surprise. Zhang Yu did not answer, but released the queen flower and the black seahorse, while Lilia sent out 2 beautiful flowers. Grass knot, / seed. Bomb! Mai Mei and Huahua opened their hands, and several vines instantly appeared under the feet of the rushing unicorn. Hoo-ha! It was tripped by the straw rope and somersaulted heavily. Deifu! The Queen of Flowers pointed her hand downwards, and a bunch of seeds fell to the ground and exploded. After a series of combos, all the unicorn rhinos that could still move were driven away, and the largest one was knocked unconscious to the ground. Zhang Yu liked the big rhinoceros very much, and he took out the Pokeball and easily captured the biggest one. However, Lilia only liked cute Pokémon and was not interested in the one-horned rhinoceros. Thank you for saving me. My name is Xiao Gang, what are your names? The man took back Onyx and walked over with gratitude on his face. Lily AI. By the way, Xiao Gang, why are you being chased by so many armored rhinos? Looking at the squinty-eyed man in front of him, Zhang Yu asked curiously. Well, it's quite embarrassing to talk about it. It's my brother's birthday, and I wanted to catch a one-horned rhino as a birthday present for him. Unexpectedly, their leader, the one you just captured, discovered it, so... Xiao Gang scratched his head in embarrassment. After understanding the reason, Zhang Yu also introduced to Xiao Gang the purpose of his coming to Deep Grey City. In that case, if you two don't mind, you can come to my humble abode and rest for a while. Xiao Gang was just worrying about how to thank Zhang Yu, and now he had the opportunity. But there are so many one-horned rhinos here. Zhang Yu looked at the big guys on the ground. Should he just ignore them? Xiao Gang directly took out a handful of Pokeballs. This is easy to handle. Conquer all the remaining one-horned rhinos. Actually, I am still the master of the Dark Grey Gym. I will release these unicorns after they recover their strength. After solving the problem of the unicorn, Zhang Yu and his team followed Xiao Gang to the Deep Grey Gym. As soon as I walked in, I heard a little kid's voice shouting, "Brother!" Zhoulang wet his pants again. Ah! Didn't you just change your pants this afternoon? Xiao Gang heard the sound and ran in quickly. Jiro, go and entertain the guests. I'm going to go check on my brothers and sisters. A squinty-eyed boy named Jiro walked out of the house and greeted the two on behalf of Xiao Gang. It's okay, we can just sit here. Zhang Yu and Lilie sat in the living room waiting for Xiao Gang. Oh! I'm so sorry to have kept you two waiting for so long. We have a lot of children in our family. Xiao Gang, who had changed into an apron, came out without anyone noticing. Brother, where are the guests coming from? A little girl suddenly threw herself into Xiaogang's arms. Hey Sizi, go play for a while, your brother is still busy. After hurriedly comforting his sister, Xiaogang sat opposite Zhang Yu. Thank you so much for today. Please stay for dinner tonight. I have prepared a lot of dishes. After some understanding, Zhang Yu was surprised that Xiaogang had the energy to take care of 9 younger brothers and sisters and be the owner of the museum at the same time. It's amazing. Lilie also sighed. As a girl from a wealthy family, she could not imagine how hard it was to take care of 9 children. Xiaogang chuckled, at first I was too busy, but when Jiro and the others grew up, it became much more convenient. By the way, let's go eat first and talk while we eat. After accepting Xiaogang's invitation, Zhang Yu and Lilie followed Xiaogang to another room where there was an extra long dining table. Jiro, Sanlang, 4th son, 5th son, 6th son, 7th son, Yatsuki, Kuro come to eat. Seeing Xiaogang calling his younger brothers and sisters to eat as if he was reading out the names of dishes, Zhang Yu and Lilie looked at him with admiration. After a while, a group of squinty-eyed children ran in and sat in a row in front of the table. After the dishes were served, everyone said, I'm starting. Wow, Xiaogang's cooking is also delicious. Zhang Yu picked up a meatball and put it in his mouth. Yeah. Lilie also agreed and felt that her cooking skills were similar to Ayu's. Ha ha ha, practice makes perfect. By the way, Ayu, are you guys going to participate in the gorgeous competition tomorrow? Xiaogang also wanted to go, but couldn't since he was tied up, which made him feel a little regretful. Lilie took over and said, yes, it's about to start. We have to get there as soon as possible. However, Ayu didn't participate. He just accompanied me. Xiaogang nodded thoughtfully, is that so? You two really have a good relationship. Although Xiaogang just sighed, the two of them still blushed and buried their heads in eating. Then we'll go first, Xiaogang. I'll come to the dark grey gym to challenge you next time. The next morning, the two said goodbye to Xiaogang. Zhang Yu also talked about his plan to participate in the next Quartz League tournament last night, and made a challenge agreement with Xiaogang. Riding on Pidgeot, we quickly headed towards the Quartz Plateau. The rest of the journey was not far away and we would probably arrive by noon. Chapter 36. Quartz Plateau. The gorgeous contest begins. Nearing the Quartz Plateau, Zhang Yu saw the crowded conference hall below from mid-air. The venue is a huge circular building surrounded by countless auditoriums and stands. The entire venue is beautifully decorated with flowers, ribbons, and lights everywhere. Although the Grand Tournament is not as popular as the League Tournament, it still attracts a large number of viewers and participants. After all, it is also a formal large-scale competition, and many trainers hope to show their strength and charm through this competition. Those who are able to participate in this competition usually have a certain level of strength, otherwise it would be difficult to cultivate Pokémon that require fancy moves. Therefore, a large number of people came to watch the game. Because the game was magnificent enough, many official TV stations broadcast it. After arriving at Pidgeot Airlines and returning Pidgeot, Zhang Yu and Lilie entered the competition venue. Hello, I'm Lilie, who has signed up for the competition. This is my gorgeous medal. Lilia handed the illustrated book and medal to the staff and logged her information into the machine. Okay, the competition will start in 2 days, you can adjust your condition first. The staff gave the two people 2 room cards, one for the contestant and one for the accompanying person. However, they did not go into the room, but instead planned to take a look inside the venue and adapt to the environment. The competition mode and rules were displayed on the big screen at the venue. The gorgeous competition was divided into 3 rounds, the preliminary round, the first review, and the second review. The first 2 games are gorgeous performances, scored by 3 judges, and the last game is a gorgeous doubles match with a time limit of 5 minutes. The contestants must defeat their opponents in the most elegant and beautiful way possible. If the time limit is exceeded, the winner will be determined by the offensive score. As a grand competition venue, the facilities inside are quite complete. In addition to the most basic Pokémon Center, there is even a snack street and various recreational areas. It's worthy of being a big competition. Zhang Yu bought 2 Duo ice creams and took a bite. Of course. After all, this is the dream place for many trainers. Lily took the ice cream and ate it too. Anyway, the game hasn't started yet, so it doesn't matter if they relax for a while. The two of them strolled around and tasted delicious food in the snack street. Pippi ha! The two little Pokémon were also held in their arms and visited the venue together. We spent 2 relaxing days like this, and finally on the 3rd day we welcomed the opening ceremony of the gorgeous competition. Good morning, dear audience friends and trainers. The much anticipated grand tournament officially begins today. I am the host, Lillian. After the judges were introduced, the glamour competition officially began. The order of the competition is determined by drawing lots. Lilie drew number 50 and should be able to take her turn in the morning. The first round is the preliminary round, where 270 winners will be selected from 64 contestants. Because it is a gorgeous show, each Pokémon only needs to show one move, so the scoring is very fast. It's your turn, Lilie, come on. Zhang Yu gave Lilie an OK gesture to cheer her up. Lilia also replied with an OK and went onto the stage. The next trainer to take the stage is Miss Lily, a trainer from the Orange Islands. Let's wait and see what kind of wonderful performance she will bring. The commentator introduced in a very formulaic manner. It's decided to be you. Hua. Bana my Liwa did several backflips in the air and landed lightly on the stage. The sparkling pollen that was scattered when it turned over made its appearance receive a lot of cheers. Flowers, petals falling in profusion. Bana. After hearing Lily's instruction, my Liwa lifted her leaf skirt with her hands and started spinning on tiptoe. At the same time, petals emerged from its body and flew along with the dance. What a gorgeous move! It looks like Lilia is determined to win. After the presentations were over, Lily came to the stage. The scores would only be known after all trainers had finished their presentations. That's great! Huahua's performance on the stage was beautiful. Looking at the somewhat nervous Lilie, Zhang Yu handed her the popcorn in his hand. Thank you Au, I still have confidence. It's just the preliminaries. I've been training for so long, it won't be a big problem. By the time all the trainers had finished their presentations, it was already evening. The big screen at the venue displayed the list of 64 trainers who passed the preliminaries. Lily clenched her fists as she watched the names flash by. Yeah! I passed. Lilie breathed a sigh of relief, her heart finally at ease. Great! Let's go to the restaurant and have something delicious to celebrate. Zhang Yu was also very happy. It was a good start and they had to celebrate. Of course, there were also trainers who failed and left the quartz plateau with regret that night. After finishing the pudding in one bite, Lily relaxed her brows. Au, you don't know how nervous I was when I was on stage. Even though it was only 2 minutes, I felt like 2 days had passed. Looking at Lilie, who was reviewing her grades like she was after an exam, Zhang Yu listened to her talk about her psychological journey with a smile. Pie. Baby Pie said he didn't understand and used his short little hands to reach the small cake on the table. Seeing this, the beautiful flower next to it picked up a spoon and fed it. Because their Pokémon were not very big, except for Zhang Yu's rhino, they released all the others to celebrate together. So, how are you going to perform in the first review tomorrow? Zhang Yu asked. Lilie patted Mai's head and said, I'm going to let Mai play tomorrow. She's more skilled in controlling the moves. But how to match them still needs some thought. Zhang Yu nodded. He didn't know much about gorgeous combinations and couldn't help much, but he did share some battle ideas with Lilie. After dinner, Zhang Yu bought some food and packed it for the unicorns. After a few days of training, the originally unruly unicorn leader also became obedient under the whip of the Queen of Flowers. Plus, there were delicious foods, which made life much better than in the mountains. It also gradually accepted that it had been tamed. Zhang Yu stroked his chin, looking at the happily eating unicorn rhino. It should be able to be used as a mount. Chapter 37. After the two returned to their rooms to rest, it was soon time for the first review. The host was still Lillian, but the judges changed from the 3 Miss Joys yesterday to Mr. Sukisawa, Mr. Kankenstein, Miss Joy from Yahung City, and Vivian. The competition from 64 to 16 is much stricter than the preliminaries. Lilie also put a beautiful wreath on Mai today. The number she drew today was 8, which meant she was one of the first to go on stage, which put a lot of psychological pressure on her. The first few contestants were obviously much stronger than those in the preliminaries. One big sister who used gardevoir received loud cheers from the audience. Soon it was Lilia's turn. He patted his chest and took a few deep breaths. Don't be nervous, don't be nervous. I can do it. Mime, come out. The poke ball was thrown into the air and opened, bursting out a ball of colorful powder. Bana Mime rushed out from the powder, turned around a few times and landed on the ground. She lifted the corner of her skirt with her little hand and saluted to the judges and the audience. So beautiful. Beautiful flowers are so cute. As soon as the performance started, Mai Lua aroused cheers from the audience. Next, use butterfly dance in conjunction with magic flash. Mai Mei's body glowed brilliantly as she began to dance. Petal dance. Grass energy blew across the field, and the petals rolled up powder and fluttered around the beautiful flower. Combined with the shining light of magic, the beautiful flower looked as mysterious as an elf. It's so beautiful. Beautiful flower, beautiful flower. The audience cheered even louder, and the judges watched the beautiful performance and kept communicating with each other. Finally, with the power of the moon, beautiful flower ended the performance. How's it going, Au? My performance is all right, right? Lilia was really nervous this time. You played really well today. This is the first time I've seen such a gorgeous teamwork. Zhang Yu was speaking the truth. He didn't expect that a combination of several skills could have such a beautiful effect. After receiving the affirmation, Lilia felt a little better and watched the next performance with Zhang Yu. Because these contestants have been screened and no one's performance was particularly bad, the result of the first review is difficult to judge. After the judges discussed for a long time, the host finally announced the results. The training for advancing to the top 16 this time is. Please, please. I hope I can pass. Lilia's clenched hands turned pale as she listened carefully to the host's announcement. Lilia, Aling. These are the trainers who have entered the top 16. Let's cheer for them. Yet. Lilia and the audience around her cheered at the same time. Zhang Yu also applauded her vigorously. Congratulations. Lily, you've made it to the top 16. So happy. Whoa you view. Unexpectedly, Lilia started crying while laughing. Why are you crying again? Zhang Yu was a little confused and didn't know what to do. No. It's okay, I'm just a little excited. Lilia said sobbingly. She wiped her tears and adjusted her emotions. After calming down, she pulled Zhang Yu out of the competition site. Enjoy yourself today. It's my treat. Lily said boldly, waving her hand. Ah! I'm so happy. I didn't expect that I could make it to the top 16. Even though I'm at the bottom, I'm super happy. As if to avenge herself for crying in public, Lilia ate a piece of the lobster tail in one bite. That's already great. After all, you've trained so hard, it's inevitable that you'll pass. Zhang Yu was also happy for her, after all, they were old friends. The emotional value was full. Well. Au. Actually, I am very grateful that you have been accompanying me in training all this time. Lilia said a little embarrassedly. Hey. It's nothing, we are good friends. Zhang Yu waved his hand, indicating that it was no big deal. Friends, hey. Lily muttered softly. Ah? What did you say? Zhang Yu asked as he didn't hear clearly. Ah. Nothing. Let's eat. Lilia quickly changed the subject. After entering the top 16, it's time to decide the champion. Because each game has a time limit, all games can be completed in one day. The last game is a computer random match of opponents. The screen showed that Lily's opponent was Yuzu from Honkana City. The auditorium at today's competition was basically full of people, and Zhang Yu finally found an empty seat. And Lilia had been waiting in the preparation area for a long time. Are you Lily? I didn't expect the eldest lady to also come to participate in the competition. Yuzu's tone was a little wrong. Lilia looked at the other person in some confusion. Excuse me, have we met before? Yuzu's face suddenly turned red, damn it. You forgot about me so quickly. Come out, Poison Rose, Absol. This was a doubles match, and Lily sent out two beautiful flowers. Poison Rose, Missile Needle. Absol. Gather your energy. Yuzu chose to let Poison Rose attack to cover Absol's improvement. Lily did not sit still and wait for death, but asked Mai Mei and Hua to use magic leaves to offset each other's attacks. Mai Mei Hua, use butterfly dance. Bana beautiful flower danced gracefully and improved her abilities. At this time, Absol's energy gathering was also completed. Yuzu decisively commanded. Secret attack on key points. Absol's figure flashed and disappeared from the spot, while Poison Rose continued to use missile needles to block the position of beautiful flower. Just waiting for you to attack. Seize the opportunity, Lilie commanded. Mai Mei. Use the paralysis powder. Hua, use it on the poisonous rose again. Lilia knew that Poison Rose could perform aromatherapy, so in order to prevent the buff from being removed, she directly let Hua control it, and didn't care even if it was attacked. Absol's claws glowed black as it grabbed onto Mai Mei's body fiercely, but a sudden burst of paralysis powder paralyzed it. Right now. Continue using poison powder and sleeping powder. The tactic of getting hit first and then counter-attacking has always been effective. Although Mai Mei felt pain, she still held on and made the opponent get hit by a pile of powder. You can't move. Super absorption. The staggering Absol could only allow Melia to absorb his energy. The Poison Rose, which originally had the ability to cure abnormal states, could only release missile needles continuously because of Hua's repeated attack. It felt that all the thorns on its body were about to be shot out. Lilie. How can you be so insidious? Yuzu was a little broken. Looking at the Absol lying limp on the ground and the Poison Rose that kept shooting, he had a constipated expression on his face. The key is that the missile needle can never hit Hua whose speed has been enhanced by butterfly dance. This is a tactical victory. Lily explained seriously. Mai Mei, use petal dance. Bana. An energy storm blew up on the field. Absol, who was at the center of the storm, rolled his eyes and finally fell asleep. We've been shooting for so long, it's time for us to fight back. Hua, tie a grass knot. A green rope suddenly appeared under the feet of the poisonous rose, causing it to stumble. Magic leaf. The two beautiful flowers simultaneously launched several leaves towards the poisonous rose. Damn it! Hold on! A green light curtain appeared in front of Poison Rose, blocking the attack of Magic Leaf. Ding 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 ding! But the continuous attacks made the light curtain weaker and weaker. Snap accompanied by the sound of shattering, the poisonous rose still couldn't withstand the beautiful flower's moves. Then it entered garbage time. The attack of two bells was obviously not something a Pokémon could withstand, not to mention they were of the same attribute. If Yuzu had a fire-type Pokémon, perhaps there would be a chance of turning things around. Ding! After 5 minutes, Poison Rose finally couldn't hold on and lost consciousness. The final winner is Miss Lilie. After the referee's announcement, Yuzu walked off the stage with an unconvinced look on her face. Strange? I don't even know her. Lilie didn't think much about it afterwards. Anyway, she did win, so she was happy. Great! I'm in the top 8. Thanks to you, for teaching me the tactics. Otherwise, I might not have won. Lilie ran over happily and high-fived Zhang Yu. Ha ha ha, you are very talented. It has only been less than a week, and it is already very impressive that Lilie has learned to this level. Next up is the semi-finals, so we need to plan our tactics carefully. Chapter 38. Goodbye, for a better meeting. Pidot. Use Brave Bird Attack. Hua. Hold on. Use Poison. Lily shouted hurriedly. Facing the Pidgeot flying in the sky like a fighter jet, Hua's body was trembling a little, but she still mustered up the courage to meet it. Cry with a sharp bird cry, Pidgeot rushed over with huge flying energy. Well then. Hua was knocked away instantly. Well, then. What? Pidgeot's trainer looked at Flowery who was struggling to get up in surprise, not understanding why Flowery could still stand up after being hit by a flying-type ultimate move. Hold on. Really hold on. My Liwa is holding on to the last bit of her strength. The host explained excitedly. She thought my Liwa was going to die. Purple bubbles suddenly appeared on Pidgeot's feathers. Pidgeot's trainer saw this but didn't care. I didn't expect your beautiful flower to have another trick up its sleeve. However, let's end the battle here. Charizard, big word flame explosion. Charizard, who had been acting as a wingman next to him, finally started to show his power. The high temperature mercilessly devoured the exhausted Hwawa, ending the battle. Beep, the battle is over. The winner is Miss Sayori. The referee waved the flag and announced the result. Lilia, it's okay, we've tried our best. Zhang Yu didn't know how to comfort her. Although he had done his homework yesterday, facing the double restraint, the beautiful flower with a single attribute was still powerless. It's okay, Au, I've been mentally prepared. To be honest, I'm already very satisfied with the good result of getting 4th place. Lilia was only depressed for a short while, but soon returned to her previous happy self. Besides, in this competition, I also saw the determination of Mai Mei and Hwawa. Next time, we will definitely be able to win the championship. Lilia clenched her little fists and shouted towards the sky with great force. Zhang Yu also nodded in agreement. Indeed, facing the charge of the Pidgeot, which was 1.5 meters tall and had a wingspan of 3 meters, the beautiful flower was not even as big as its poop, but it was able to hold on and fight back, which surprised him and the audience. Zhang Yu felt relieved when he saw that Lilia didn't continue to be depressed. By the way, I remember there is a gorgeous ball tonight. Let's go together. After saying that, Lilia pulled Zhang Yu's hand and ran out without waiting for his answer. Hey, slow down! Zhang Yu was startled by her sudden action. He smiled helplessly and let her lead him away. The gorgeous competition was quite conscientious. In order to prevent the losing contestants from being too disappointed, each person was given a commemorative badge recording the contestants' ranking. This also made the failed contestants feel a little relieved. After all, their efforts were not in vain. The final closing ceremony was held on the 2nd floor of the gorgeous venue. Tonight, no matter whether you are happy or sad, no matter whether you win or lose, I hope everyone will not give up their dreams. We are Pokémon trainers. The voice of the host Lillian rang out in the gorgeous venue, full of passion. Swish! Lily pushed the door gently, and the door slowly opened. She stepped into the room lightly, and then turned around gracefully in front of Zhang Yu, her skirt fluttering like a blooming flower. With a smile on her face and a gleam of anticipation in her eyes, she asked happily, Au, how do you think of my dress? Does it look good? Zhang Yu couldn't help but widen his eyes. He was amazed by the Lilia in front of him. Although Lilia is a beautiful girl in normal times, she usually wears sportswear, showing her youthful and energetic side. At this moment, she put on an exquisite dress, as if she had turned into a noble and elegant princess. Super beautiful! Zhang Yu exclaimed sincerely. Lilia's beauty moved him deeply, and her smile was as warm as the sun, lighting up the whole room. Ha ha ha, are you stunned? Lily smiled slyly and turned back into the Lily in sportswear. Stop being in a daze and go change your clothes. He pushed Zhang Yu, who was standing still, into the changing room and urged him. No wonder he wanted to take me shopping for clothes before. Zhang Yu was still confused. It turned out that he was waiting here. The clothes fit him well, but Zhang Yu was not used to it. He had always been an unknown person before and had never worn formal clothes. He was afraid of being pointed at. Slowly opening the door, Lilia suddenly appeared in front of Zhang Yu. Hey! Au, what you're wearing suits you very well. You look very handsome. Looking him up and down, Lilia gave him a high evaluation. Hearing the affirmation, Zhang Yu breathed a sigh of relief. As long as she wasn't ugly, it would have been too embarrassing otherwise. Okay, stop daydreaming. Let's go. The party is about to start. Lilia grabbed Zhang Yu's hand again and went to the stage venue. The venue is large, but there are even more trainers and Pokémon, so the first floor has also been turned into a stage. In addition to Rhino, Zhang Yu released the other 2 Pokémon to dance together. Lily also released Peewee and Melissa to feel the atmosphere here. Lilia looked like a veteran, dancing lightly to the music, while Zhang Yu twisted and turned awkwardly like a funny magic wall puppet. Follow my moves. Lilia turned around and jumped to Zhang Yu's side, slowly helping him become familiar with the dance. Vega and Hippocampus looked at their trainer's red face, scratched their heads, and felt puzzled. Defo/Hashi. Have a fever. As the last piece of music ended, the closing ceremony came to an end. Are you going to Hone? The next morning, Zhang Yu looked at Lilia, somewhat silent. Well, because of some family matters, I have to act as the chairman of the board of directors of the company. It will probably take a year. Lilie's tone was also a little heavy. I agreed to my family's request to participate in the gorgeous competition this time. Anyway, I'm having a lot of fun during this period. And thank you, Au, for participating with me. Lilia raised her head, still smiling brightly. However, Zhang Yu still saw the slightly red corners of her eyes. Lilia, actually What's wrong? Au. Lilia looked at Zhang Yu with some anticipation. I wish you a safe journey. After a few seconds of silence, Zhang Yu was unable to say those words in the end. Well, thank you. Au, when you are free, come to home to play with me, we can contact each other as navigators. The light in Lily's eyes dimmed a little, but she still smiled. Watching the flying Pidgeot and seeing off Lilie, Zhang Yu felt a little lonely. He was not a fool. Although he had been in this world for a while, his life as an unknown person for more than 20 years made him afraid to touch beautiful things. Confession is not a charge, but a declaration of victory. Zhang Yu looked at the direction where Lilie was going, clenched his fists, and thought silently. 1 year, Conference Champions. Chapter 39. Where the First Wind Blows. With Professor Oak. Half a month has passed since I left Dr. Uchiki last time. Although Dr. Uchiki said that he would send the information when he was free, Zhang Yu has nothing to do now, so he can go see Dr. Oki. Dr. Uchiki said that Dr. Oak is in Pallet Town. Just go straight along this road and then turn 2 corners and you'll be there. Looking at the map, Zhang Yu discovered that Zhengzin Town was only a day's journey away from the Quartz Plateau. However, since there was no transportation station in the town, Zhang Yu decided to ride a unicorn. Hoo-hoo. Because the one he subdued was the boss of the one-horned rhinoceros, it was a circle larger than the ordinary one-horned rhinoceros, a full 1.5 meters long, so it was quite suitable for Zhang Yu to ride on it. Take out some dumplings and feed them to the one-horned rhino. Good boy Rhino, eat these dumplings so you can have the strength to carry me. The one-horned rhinoceros ate the dumpling in one bite and nodded. Over the past few days, it had gotten used to this kind of life, which tasted much better than chewing stones. Zhang Yu's weight of 120 kilograms is easy for it to carry. But it's too tiring to yell one-horned rhinoceros every day. It's not very convenient to call out a 4-character name when fighting, so why not just call it boss from now on, since it was the boss of the one-horned rhino group before. It's also convenient to have a nickname. It's decided. From now on I'll call you boss. Zhang Yu patted the rhino on the back and decided on the name. Hoo-hoo. The one-horned rhinoceros didn't care, as long as there was something to eat. Boss, let's go. Although the unicorn rhinoceros is fat, it runs very fast and its 4 pillar-like legs are very stable. Zhang Yu did not feel bumpy when sitting on it. The big rhino was running on the road, shaking his butt. When the sun was setting, he saw the outline of the town in front of him. That's great. At this speed, only 3 kilograms of dumplings are consumed per kilometers. The speed of the big rhino was beyond Zhang Yu's expectations. Approaching the town, Zhang Yu put away the boss and slowly walked into Zhengzin Town. The setting sun and the evening breeze blew across this peaceful town, reminding Zhang Yu of his hometown in the countryside. Where is Professor Oak? Zhang Yu was walking and observing when he was suddenly bumped by 2 children and stumbled. Ouch! That hurts? Zai, you idiot! You didn't even look where you were going when you ran so fast. Zhang Yu was fine, but the 2 children fell to the ground. Kids, are you all right? Reaching out and pulling the 2 children up, Zhang Yu took a look and found that they seemed to be uninjured. It's okay, big brother. Zai is very strong. The little boy with the red hedgehog hair waved his hand in a mature manner. What? Xiao Mao, what's wrong with your tone? Zai shouted with an unconvinced look on his face. I've told you so many times, you have to call me Master Xiao Mao. Seeing the 2 little kids in front of him were about to start a fight, Zhang Yu quickly pulled them back. Hey, kids, don't fight, don't fight. Big brother has a question for you. Answer it and you'll get something delicious. Zhang Yu asked as he took out 2 candies. Where does Professor Oak live? Candy. Zai took the candy and started eating. Stupid Zai. Didn't your mother teach you not to eat things given by strangers? Xiao Mao looked at Zhang Yu with a suspicious expression. There was no other choice, so Zhang Yu took out the Pokémon encyclopedia to prove that he was not a bad person. Okay, I'll trust you for now. Come with me. Xiao Mao put away the candy, took Zai's hand, and took Zhang Yu to find Professor Oak. Here we are, Grandpa, we are back. The three of them walked to a dome house and Xiao Mao knocked on the door. It's time for dinner, right? Who are you? Professor Oak opened the door and found that in addition to his grandson and Zai, there was also a strange man. Hello, Dr. Oak, my name is Au, and Dr. Uchiki asked me to come here. After entering the house, Jiandan explained his purpose to Dr. Oak and took out the information given by Dr. Uchiki. A survey on the relationship between the evolution of the Odorika and its ethnic groups? Okay, thank you, Au. I'll get back to Nemu after I've done some research. Dr. Oak put away the information and invited Zhang Yu to come and have dinner together. Whoa! Grandpa, you're not going to cook instant noodles again. Xiao Mao said mercilessly. Today's instant noodles have the claws that fell off the giant crab. Demu laughed awkwardly. Zhang Yu thought that Professor Uchiki only knew how to cook instant noodles. Could this be the Pokémon Professor's universal food? Professor Oak, if you don't mind, I have some homemade dumplings here, we can eat them. Then I'd rather obey you than submit. Thank you, Au. Before he could finish his words, Professor Oak grabbed his hand. He usually goes to Zai's house for meals, but recently Zai's mother went out to attend a party with friends, so he could only cook instant noodles for himself. Zai's mother and Professor Oak are teacher and student. Zai doesn't care. He is a big eater and as long as there is food, it's fine. After eating the dumplings that Zhang Yu brought, they sat on the sofa to rest. Xiao Mao and Xiao Ji played for a while and then went to the backyard to look for Pokémon to play with. Only Zhang Yu and Professor Oak were left. Au, you said you came from the Orange Islands? Did you know about the popular Sea God Festival? Professor Oak was very interested in what happened at that time, but since he was not at the scene, he could not see it clearly. Celebration. Zhang Yu thought for a while and then told him what happened that day, but hid his conversation with Poseidon. Is that so? Seeing that Professor Oak was lost in thought, he did not disturb him but went to the backyard to check on the two little kids. In his memory, Zai was the protagonist of the Pokémon cartoon, but he almost forgot it just now. When I came to the backyard, I found a small river in the yard. Two little guys were fishing with their butts sticking out under the light. After watching for a while, Zhang Yu also got excited. He released the queen flower, borrowed some nectar to smear on the bait, swung the rod and waited there. Wow! It's the Queen of Flowers. So big! When the two children saw the Queen of Flowers appear, they no longer had any interest in fishing. They threw away their fishing rods and surrounded it, touching and hugging it. Not afraid of strange Pokémon. Defo. The Queen of Flowers looked at the two children, then looked at Zhang Yu, nodded to it, and started playing with them. Sweet aroma! In order to prevent the powder of the Queen of Flowers from poisoning people, Zhang Yu instructed it to use a sweet fragrance to avoid this. Wow! Hua, you smell so good! Seeing that they were having fun, I let the black seahorse out to play with them. At this moment, the fishing rod in his hand suddenly moved, and Zhang Yu smiled knowingly. The fish is hooked. Chapter 40. Young Aubin and the Unicorn Beetle. Zhang Yu concentrated his energy on his danshan and pulled with all his strength. Hi! Puff! The sound of water attracted Zai and Xiao Mao's attention. Dong, dong, dong! A poke ball with water plants on it bounced twice on the ground. Brother Au, you are really lucky, Zai scratched his head and laughed awkwardly. Zhang Yu felt a little embarrassed to be looked down upon by the kid. His bad luck started again. I don't believe it anymore. He threw the club again, trying to save his dignity. After an hour. Hey, Brother Au, these are the slippers I dropped into the water last time. You are so awesome. Zai put a single slipper on his foot and found that it fit perfectly. Xiao Mao covered his mouth and his face turned red. Seeing Zhang Yu's expression was not right, Xiao Mao quickly explained, I wasn't laughing, I was just thinking about something happy. Haha. Zhang Yu threw the fishing rod on the ground with an indifferent look on his face. Forget it, I won't bother with you. What happens to a trainer, can it be called bad luck? Then there's the fisherman never comes back empty-handed. The slippers were also caught by fishing. Something like that. The yard was filled with a cheerful atmosphere. Oi everyone, it's too late. It's time to rest. Professor Oak shouted from the doorway. Xiaozai and Xiaomao are both children, still growing, so they should go to bed early. Ayu, come on too. I'm sorry to bother you today. Zhang Yu did not refuse. After all, he was unfamiliar with the place and it would be good to have a place to stay. After staying one night at Professor Oak's house, Zhang Yu was ready to say goodbye the next day. He had already thought about his next stop, Deep Grey City. As for Xiaozai and Xiaomao, he gave each of them an Orange Island's commemorative doll as a gift before leaving. Goodbye, brother Yu. Come and play again when you have time. The two children shouted at Zhang Yu's back as he rode the one-horned rhinoceros. Okay. See you next time. According to the navigator, the dark grey gym is currently the friendliest gym for new trainers. Zhang Yu thought about Xiao Gang having to take care of 9 younger brothers and sisters, and instantly understood why he said that. Every family has its own problems. Riding on the rhino, Boss walked along the road and soon arrived at the Evergreen Forest, a must-go place on the way to Deep Grey City. Is it so lively? There were many people coming in and out of the Evergreen Forest, most of them were young men wearing shorts and short-sleeved shirts and holding fishing nets. Brother, are you here to catch bug-type Pokémon as well? A young insect catcher in standard attire spoke to Zhang Yu. However, looking at the one-horned rhinoceros sitting in front of him, he couldn't help but take half a step back. My name is Aubin, and my goal is to become a bug-type Pokémon trainer. Looking at the boy who was probably only 12 or 13 years old, Zhang Yu asked curiously. Hello, Aubin. Just call me Ayu. Is this how you all catch bug-type Pokémon? Why is the insect type so popular? He is not sure. Besides, no need for Pokeballs, no Pokémon battles, just a bug net? That's too down to earth. Aubin didn't care at all and waved the net in his hand. It's okay. A true warrior must have the courage to face the bleak life. After a pause, he asked curiously, Brother, you must be a powerful trainer. You can even capture the rhino. Ahaha, I'm not that powerful. I'm going to challenge the dark grey gym, so I have to pass by here. But so many people are trying to catch bug-type Pokémon, so I want to go and take a look too. Zhang Yu laughed, but since he had to pass by here anyway, it would be fine to go and take a look. Okay. Okay. Then let's go together, big brother. Aubin looked very happy. He was still a little afraid of catching insects. If his friends hadn't instigated him, he would not have dared to come this time. Zhang Yu put away the unicorn rhinoceros and walked into the evergreen forest with Aubin. They didn't see many insects along the way, but there were many people. As if seeing Zhang Yu's confusion, Aubin explained, Brother Ayu, it's mainly because bug-type Pokémon are easy to keep and evolve quickly, so many people come to catch them. If it's a rhino, it would be hard to just maintain daily food. Indeed, Zhang Yu nodded in agreement. Now the unicorn can eat as much in one meal as he, queen flower, and black seahorse. If it weren't for the addition of tree fruits, they would have sufficient energy. Human food alone can hardly satisfy its appetite. The fruits of the trees need to be picked again. And with Pokémon guarding them, large-scale planting is not easy. This leads to a vicious cycle. If you want to feed Pokémon with berries, you must first have Pokémon to protect yourself, but you can't afford to raise powerful Pokémon. This is why bug-type Pokémon are so popular. But it is only limited to ordinary people. The two walked deeper into the forest, and the people became fewer and fewer. Hey! There! There are a few unicorn worms. Aubin was a little surprised. The hornet beetle is slightly rarer than the caterpillar, and the evolved beedrill is still very handsome. Before Zhang Yu could grab him, he rushed forward with the insect net. Oh! Unexpectedly, the unicorn beetles did not run away. Instead, several of them gathered together and used their silk spinning trick. Whoa! Help! Aubin was instantly wrapped into a white ball. Don't worry. This young man is too stupid. Zhang Yu was very upset. He released the queen flower and used the least powerful flying leaf knife to cut the silk thread. I'm saved, ah! Aubin was about to thank Zhang Yu, but found that the unicorn beetles were shooting poison needles at him again. Hold! Defo! Amazon stood in front of Aubin and easily blocked the poison needle. This unicorn beetle is indeed very aggressive, much stronger than the caterpillar. Tie a straw knot to tie them up, then use sleeping powder. Defo! It only took Amazon a few seconds to understand what Zhang Yu meant. It turned the grass energy that appeared under the unicorn worms into ropes, shook its hands, and after a few flips, it tied the unicorn worms together. Call! Sleeping powder floated from the stamens on the queen flower's head to the swarm of insects. Soon the bugs became motionless. Wow! Brother Au, you are so strong! The queen of flowers is so powerful! Aubin instantly became full of energy and ran to the side of the unicorn beetle and shouted. Ha ha ha, it's nothing. It's mainly thanks to the queen of flowers. By the way, do you want to capture a unicorn beetle? Zhang Yu picked out the largest bug and put it into the poke ball, then asked. In this way, you will have 4 Pokémon with different attributes, which makes it much more convenient to deal with gyms with different attributes. Okay. Thank you, big brother. But I don't have a poke ball. Mom said she would buy me one when I'm older. Aubin was happy for 2 seconds but then fell depressed again. He was only instigated by his friends and was not fully prepared at all. Here, this empty ball is for you. If you like it, go and capture it. Don't leave any regrets. Besides, a beetle is rarer than a caterpillar. Zhang Yu handed over the poke ball. It wasn't expensive anyway. Moreover, Aubin's eyes reminded him of when he was a child and saw something he liked, but he held back and pretended to be sensible. Really? That's great. I have my own Pokémon. Aubin took the poke ball and quickly captured the sleeping hornet. Woo woo woo, brother Au, thank you. Children's emotions change quickly. He was laughing just now, but now he is crying with excitement. Oh, why are you crying? It's no big deal. You must take good care of the unicorn worm in the future. Zhang Yu really couldn't deal with a crying child. Yet. I will. It was getting late, and they were already deep in the evergreen forest. In order to prevent Aubin from getting into any accidents, Zhang Yu asked him to go home early and stop wandering around in the forest. After reluctantly saying goodbye to Zhang Yu, Aubin skipped back with the poke ball in his hand. Release the one-horned rhinoceros again. Now there are not many people on the road, so it can run freely.